But they do for the Marana.
That's super cool. Whoever said that.
It's
It's so cringe.
It's a good shout. It's a good shout.
So cringe.
I think one aspect of the Marana that is really good is it's a very good Moonlight Shadow game. When you're playing against lineups that lack catch, that spell can be really powerful. Yeah, okay, it's gonna be the bear. It's a classic response to Centaur. Pretty powerful lane in the Ench Ursa, so I think it's gonna mostly be wave dragging up here. And Mouz, I think this Ursa rounds up their lineup pretty well. They wanted a hero that could initiate, could start fights, because they don't really have much fight starting outside of that. But they've got great skirmish, and I think they have great potential to run this game over very quickly if they get the ball rolling. And so I think I like their identity. I like this draft and this style. And I think a lot comes down to execution. Is Mouz on the ball? Can they play these lanes well? These lanes well? Can they make good early rotations? And if so, then I think this could be another really fast game where Mouz snowballs and looks awesome.
Ursa, a surprising number of bans yesterday. 8 bans. And I know we had 22 best of ones, right? So it's like, when you put it in perspective to that, maybe it's not that many, but I'm surprised that it had 8 games where it was banned. And it wasn't just last phase that we would have seen a ban, it was early phase too. So what is Ursa giving, not just in this lineup, but also just as a hero in this patch right now?
I think it's just a scary hero for a lot of heroes to go up against. If you lose your lane to this hero, you can lose your lane insanely badly. And it's not just you lose a little bit, it's you get totally stomped. And then suddenly you lose Tormentor, you lose Roche. He kind of gets the objectives for free, which is one of this hero's big strong suits. So I think it's definitely a hero that has its place. But he will get kited quite hard in this game if it does go longer, right? You're playing against Stampede and the Workhorse eventually. You've got a lot of kiting from Tiny and Invoker. You've got Moonlight Shadow. Like there's a Pike on SF. There's a lot of tools to kite in this game if Tundra does get online. And so I think Mouz is very much committed to the bit in some ways in terms of tempo, tanking up, and playing that faster paced game. And you can argue that's a bit of a worry against Tundra, a team that's great at stalling out, at getting farm. It's practically impossible to stop 33 from getting gold. So there's questions there about can they actually execute. But if they can, I like the theming of the draft. I think it's cool.
Look, it's both sides, right? It's not like Tundra are this normal Blast Slam unstoppable team. They did have a loss for themselves yesterday, so they're
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Turndra Esports.
Oh no.
Radiant team pick. Mirana. Radiant team pick. Mirana. Radiant team pick. Mirana. 10 seconds remaining.
Ursa Warrior.
Choose your hero. 10 seconds remaining.
Ursa Warrior.
Choose your hero. 10 seconds remaining.
Hello, hello. Hello,
Ended up being what 2 and 6 on the win loss by the end of the day. And there's OP as we consider, we can deal with it, we can play against it. You know, how much focus are we going to have on this here in the drafts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that stats definitely matter. You know, teams always look at these percentages, etc. If a hero starts doing that bad, you definitely
Come on, sprites.
another big man, maybe something different. So, yeah, I think we're gonna get to see more of it. So, I don't know if we're gonna be happy about that or sad about that, but I'm happy about it. It's fun to watch. You're gonna be losing.
Let's see what it does. So, in terms of the lanes, of course, we've got Boom and Yamich on this large SFE duo against the safe lane SF and Pure, connected by the White Mom Mirana. Of course, coming through as that last pick, do you sort of see why they would want to get the Mirana in the draft? As that last pick, is it just comfort for White Mom because it's one of his most played?
I think it's just a super strong hero at the moment inside mostly in the 5 position, but I think you can flex it in some games. The variety that you can do with the facet is really nice now. People are actually experimenting with the leap and bound. But it's just the trading of Starstorm. In a lot of games, I'm seeing these Miranas get 2, 3 Starstorms off in team fights, and it's a lot of damage. So besides that, of course, Moonlight Shadow is just a really good spell. So I think that's the other thing that's just always going to put this hero in favor. And Jack is cheap.
Come get healed.
Really good natural builds for the hero right now. So, interesting thing I did want to point out is looking at some facets that I didn't expect at least. 33 went Counter Strike. You usually don't see that one.
No, true. We get that with the strength of movement speed. One that.
Because you usually end up you kind of kill yourself. You hurt yourself quite a lot with this facet, I feel.
True, because yeah, the increased damage you're also taking on the cast.
Yeah, I've tried to
Like allows him to burst through what some of the enemies when he's turning on them, getting the double edges out, or indeed if it's going to sort of end up in his own demise and ends up sort of causing himself more issues.
I mean, the one thing I'm looking at is like Tundra. Once they get to a point, they have some pretty jump damage, right? Like they're all gonna just they have me. Pretty much everybody. I do think Mouz has a very good pace setting draft. I like that I see mid one. He's gone for Chronoptic Nourishment this game too. He didn't end up going for the Misanthropy, and I think the reason is probably because of setting tempo as well. Think about killing heroes with this push towers. Top.
Now we're seeing some good damage being traded by Whitemon, and he's playing super aggressive, leaping in, getting that root, getting that starfall down onto the two. Both pretty low and ensuring that they have the space.
Denied.
First Lotus here on the safe lane for Tundra.
Really like this. This is very strong and potent.
The forest
aggressive
seems
safe lane
brighter
here
with
for
you
Tundra.
here in chat.
That's what overall we're seeing. It's an insanely strong hero, but then yeah, with the pairing of the Mirana, it's safe.
Yeah, because you can go for with this obviously mentioned with the facet where you're setting up with this route. That little bit of extra setup might just mean that extra is able to connect from Pure.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do some flaming with the lane. Let's try.
Nice attempt. So yeah, not quite on the mark. Boom, ending up going the other way. Will manage to TP back to safety.
That lane's gonna be a disaster though, and we already talked about how Largo struggled, right? If he's gonna have no lane, we'll see what the recovery outlet's gonna be. He does have a Shadow Demon who will get some stacks going, right? And maybe there's some slight difficulties because there's an Invoker on one side to contest the stacks, but we'll have to see because it's definitely gonna be a slow start for that Largo. Although the lanes are doing fantastic.
See around the river, BZM. Come with the lane. Core position on the off lane. Like, if you do lose the lane, is it like
The prize is
game
mine.
over? Or it's like it will be okay. There's ways to recover. Still have impact from behind if you have a slow farm start.
think there's still ways back. I think it's very dependent on the other core heroes that you have to play with, and you can maybe even pivot your build, which I wouldn't say you always want to do, but let's say you do have an atrocious game where you're this offlaner and you're forced to play more of like a semi-support. You can maybe get a point or two in Crow because you have a Lash, right? If you didn't have Lash, I would not be saying this at all, but the fact that he has the Lash, maybe you can do some type of different pivots. We'll have to see. I do think that he can definitely get some stuff to catch back.
For sure. Because yeah, so far both offlaners having sort of a similar, a bit of a slower start. 33. Very slightly 27 and 6 here against the 23 and 4 of BZM. And looking at both carries, having a pretty much exactly similar time. 29 and 11 up on Pure on the safe lane SF, and then on the other side, 28 and 11 on Chris. Especially with no first blood. Let's get around the pit.
Are fortified.
Done. Surely there's throw out a cold
Dire structures
stop the
are
threads and taking them down as they group up. You know, they want to get that first blood. It's 5 minutes in. It's not an early first blood, but it's one that they see the opportunity to go for. And around the 6-minute rune, they can set up for getting that power rune secured here for mid one.
I'm surprised that Ari's not there. I gotta be honest with you. He was looking for some type of play top, maybe blocking camps. I didn't see exactly and placing a ward. But this is the way Mouz plays. They like to enable mid one. They like to double rotate. This is a Celery classic. The double support rotation at 6 minutes, takes the tower. I feel like this could have been maybe a little bit more prepared for. Ari just perhaps not as prepared as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, yeah, you've just ticked off 3 boxes, right? Yeah, first blood inclusion, with the mid getting involved, taking down the enemy mid, getting the tower, getting the power rune. I mean, all happening in 6 minutes, pretty ideal. Same time up on the top lane, Pure and Whitemon will manage to get the setup and get in with the razors to burst through. Boom. But yeah, this sort of opening up from the mid lane, the Mouz has just been able to get away with. We'll see where it goes from here, because they could really start to get the ball rolling. We'll see how Turndra can try and slow them down. Yep.
We'll have to see. Let's see the movements they end up coming out to.
Look at this wraparound.
Eyes on mid one always in this Flash games. He's a beast at rotating.
He's coming in with this Arcane rune. They're going to get the setup here onto Pure. Try and turn it with the burst. Pure's going to go for the Requiem. Will get it off. Doesn't matter. Pure's already dead. Now Ari and Whitemon, they'll look towards Yamage, but with Ari's spells already both on cooldown, looks like Whitemon will be able to have it here with the leap forward with the root. So they'll still get Yamage in return, but again, that's Pure being taken out. Some lovely little plays there. Center of the Wild Wing Ripper just sort of dragging Pure back over towards the rest of Mouz so they could take him out. And they keep that tier 1 tower safe.
A really like smart sequence of 2 minutes or so, right? They've rotated the supports mid, they pair, as you mentioned, take tower, kill, ruin, pressure, and a sneaky type of maneuver too because of the angle. So that was very, very interesting play there, as we've seen Mouz do a lot in these early games. And I gotta say, maybe should have been a little more prepared, right? Celery, I've seen Celery do this for years now, especially when he's playing as Enchantress. That 6-minute mark. So let's see how they do adjust on the side of Turndra with the now Ursa even getting involved. You see Chrysalis has treads. He's looking to even pressure since the SF is a bit vulnerable, of course, in the early game.
All right. Gonna go for the setup here. Combo into the arrow and the Sunstrike. It's not enough burst, and I tell you what, it's not even close to enough burst.
Not even.
They get Celery out there. He's going to be back up to full HP with the heal. I mean, those sort of attempts, they're going to feel a little bit rough, right? It's one of those sort of stories that I feel like we're going to see so many times in, and we have seen so many times in any game where there's an Enchantress, right? It's so easy to throw on this hero and not quite kill him. They're going to try again, potentially, here with the Stampede, the Avalanche. This time, they will get the kill. But definitely not one that they're getting for free. They're having to use quite a lot just to kill this Celery Eng.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of heroes skirt away at times, but I think in this game also, Turndra has put themselves in that position, what Quinn was talking about, where it might just be overwhelming damage in some situations. There's definitely a lot of sustain on the side of Mouz, but with a Sunstrike, which we're seeing PZM even prioritize the extra points in Exort, not the double Forge Spirit. He put that 5th point in Exort. The burst damage is high. Avatar, Starstorm plus Sunstrike. Most heroes will die, even with the heal.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's going to get that amped up, of course, with this Kaya into the Meteor Hammer Rush that he's going for on the Invoker.
I'm seeing this more, honestly. I've been seeing this quite a bit more just
I like
the board of these pubs. It's a BZM thing, I will say, probably, but...
I think anytime you're playing some sort of like spellcaster, just full out magic damage, finding an excuse to get the Kaya nice and early,
Oh, 100%.
it's always a great thing. So you're like, hey,
I mean,
you know,
if
I
you're
want
going
to just meet
Cataclysm
you.
later, later, Cataclysm is just going to be, especially if he gets Whispers, right? You get Whispers, you get Kaya. If you get Kata, it's insane. So we'll see if he does get it. Ari? Spotted.
He's in a fair bit of trouble. Boom's coming in from the other side, so there's nowhere for Ari to run. Maybe he can deny himself to the Ancients. Not going to happen. Celery gets the last bit of damage in. That's Ari dead. And Mouz are in position to start cleaning up these stacks.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what he's going to do. And yeah, Weapons did actually remind me. So we can even talk about like old stuff, right? Like we used to see the Meteor Hammer on the Quas Wex invokers,
Radiant's
right?
middle tower
Like
is
Thompson.
under attack.
But this, what's interesting to point this one out, it's an Exort, right? So it is a really cool. You're not really going to be casting your Meteor Hammer too often, probably.
Yeah, I guess just for
Maybe
the tower
for some
push, right?
stacks and just tower
In
push
terms
to
of-
get a moment, but yeah.
I mean, I guess obviously he does have pretty good stuns around him. I mean, he's going to help
Sure.
speed up his farm, of course, as well here with the hammer. But yeah, finding the opportunity to use it actually in combat might be difficult. And
I mean-
so when you don't have that natural setup yourself with the
Standing
skill
still as an
build.
invoker definitely doesn't ever feel very good either. Maybe
Dude, that's
Quas
what
Wex
kind of
Tornado.
invoke. Dude, that's the easy mode invoker. You're just pressing Meteor Hammer and Sunstrike. And yeah, so far that's kind of what he's doing. It's working out
it
though.
gives you-
Sunstrike this time gets the kill.
It gives you a lot of what you want. Besides that spell amp, we do have to really have to talk about. It's the mana regen, right? You mana regen amp, you get a lot of int. So if he is just sitting in the jungle and they're making moves with Abba Toss plus a Starstorm, he will probably always have the mana to keep stacking.
Damn.
Nice little tornado stack. I saw
I was
that.
going to say, little cute tornado stack there from BZM. Very nice.
But yeah, there's definitely going to be mana, right? He'll be able to have that mana available because sometimes Exort Invoker has mana issues early.
Dire's structures
Pressure coming in from
are
mid one and
fortified.
Chrysalis as they'll look towards the
Radiant
bottom tier 1
structures
tower.
are fortified.
I've used the Moonlight
Radiant's
Shadow here
top
on
tower
Tundra,
is
maybe
under
to sort of
attack.
scare away Mouse threat of any sort of setup. Chrysalis, he's not too scared at all. Continues to punch in on the tower. How's the progress
Dire's
looking on the
bottom
Battle
tower
Fury?
is under
Not too
attack.
bad. Just a few hundred gold away from that extra broadsword and then into the Quelling Blade. So
gotta
he'll
be
have
honest.
that sooner than later.
I'm pretty surprised. Even though it's like 33's not playing versus a stun
Dire's
lane, it was
bottom
just like an
tower
Enchantress
has
and a Ursa, and they left the lane, right, to pressure mid. Still how much he's gotten. He's level 8, 4k net worth. He's on his way toward that bearing. The build that we've been seeing more and more people do in this offlane, just bearing into auras. Interesting. Gotten quite a fair bit. So he's just a little bit ahead of that Largo. Who's been getting a lot of rotations to kind of help him. And the Centaur's actually ahead, so...
And up top, Moonbon and Yamich, we're seeing if they can maybe catch someone farming the Ancients with this smoke.
He's got the mech,
Wanna
so
go
they
for
do
the
want to
wrap
continue
around.
trying to set that tempo with this Lash.
If they can get on top of Pure, they could try and just all in on him underneath this tier 1 tower with the backup of Celery and Boom.
Are scaring.
Prizes mine.
They're going to spot him out in the trees. Not quite able to get the full setup, though. Turn now towards Ari. Now, Tundra, what do they want to do about this? Do they want to bring in any backup? Already, Ari's
it's
gone.
grounded.
Gets popped Pure, trying to get off the Requiem, but the disruption comes into place. The stampede
stun.
will be there, but the stun connects. And Pure, he cannot run from this. He's dead. I mean, it just seems to be
Dire's top tower
some just
has
sort of
fallen.
slight lack of preparation from Tundra, right? We saw the early mid play from Mouz. Tundra didn't really manage to do anything about that. Now these sort of top plays around a tier 1, sort of an area of the map that I feel a lot of the times is pretty easy to defend. They're not able to do anything to keep their carry safe. Tundra, they're faltering.
I think it's. I think the mid one with the Avalanche, with the tiny, they can do. I think this top one's a little harder to contest because the greed that we were talking about with the Evoker. Now they're making the rotation with 3
Radiant's
heroes.
bottom tower
Okay.
Mid one is
under
doing all.
attack.
He's very low. See, good setup there from BZM with the tornado into the combo. Indeed, mid one is gone. So whilst the earlier move to dive for tier 1 worked out pretty well, they overstay their welcome a little bit here, Mouse. Boom, on the run, but the ice wall's down. Yeah, BZM, you know, he's had enough. He's ready to start getting involved, making these moves, joining the team, and ensuring that he's ready to use his powers as the invoker to shut Mouse down.
That was a beautiful tornado combo. Looking for another.
They might just get it.
Radiant's
They've got the
bottom
toss.
tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
Pure. He's in on a Yamich. Sunstrike's coming in. BZM
Beautiful.
picks up another. My
Uh-oh.
goodness, here he
BZM
goes.
show.
He's ready to go. He's like, you take my tower 6 minutes and you kill me with these, 500 heroes that you bring mid. But beyond that, I'm going to kill you.
Oh my!
He's ready
I
to
mean,
go.
this is. And I would say Mouz is a lineup which wants to be setting tempo. I don't think they really want to make these type of mistakes too much, at least in this early game, versus this Invoker. He's two components toward Aghanims now. Very early on in this game with a meter hammer.
Oh, I got the stampede for the setup here on the mid. TP's are coming in. Toss into the Requiem. That's going to blow mid one up. And they'll even throw... Okay, it wasn't a BM pause because it was Mouz pause. I was ready for a BM pause. No BM pause here today. Headset. Sorted out.
I mean, the team fight combination that we now saw like back to back too, even with the Stampede this time around. Now we're seeing, right, the skirmishing from Mouz. They want to be setting tempo, but they definitely have to be careful if this Invoker has the mana to start turning up, which is level 11. He's extremely high level. Can actually start showing up and setting up with these tornado combos for his Tiny to get closer.
I mean, fighting into this Invoker is going to be very hard, right, until they have some sort of key items on the cores that's going to allow them to really get in on top of him.
Tends to be like Ags Largo, and then that's for most lineups when you play Largo, right? It's around that Ags timing, but I feel like that actually kind of slows down what Mouz wanted to do with this, where they wanted to really set this tempo. They kind of have, right? This 15 minutes, they've taken all 3 towers, but that fight lingering top has pretty much stopped any of that advantage that they could have kind of gained. They still have the other towers though, except for that top one. But Turndra likes to hit creeps.
And they're doing a pretty good job of that. You know, top net worth right now is Pure on the SF. Even though he had those 2 kind of early deaths, outside of that, it's been, you know, the farm, of course, in the lane was perfect still from him, and still obviously finding good involvement in these fights, thanks to the control of his teammates around him, which is obviously only going to continue. There's going to be a lot of ways that Turndra can ensure that Pure kind of has the freedom to step up in these fights, get the Requiem off, you know, before he has anything like a BKB, it doesn't matter. If Turndra just have that much stun and control. Diving in for him here. Swipe stacking up. He's speedy though.
He's actually fast enough. All right.
And indeed, he's able to run away from this one. So 33 gets out of there. The attempts of Yamich and Crystallis and Celery will not succeed.
They still know he's staying around here low because the way that Tundra's playing is just kind of a little avoidant right now. But the SF comes, cleans up the wave, and Pure is doing the same build that he did yesterday. So pretty interesting, this kind of semi-hybrid type of build with the Yashakaya, but then pivots to physical. Pretty cool.
I like it. I like it. I think kind of just, you know, making sure that you still get that sort of Kaya Yasha build in, even though you are going to right click. It just ensures you're always going to have mana to farm right with the raisins and such. We'll get a bit of a rude awakening here though as he walks up to the high ground. Crystallis and Yamich catching him by surprise. He was not expecting them to still be around here. Walked straight into them. They were set up and ready for that one there on Mouz.
Good one. He's got the SD behind him. I like how Yamich is playing. Honestly, I've been a big fan of watching Yamich for quite some time, but him on this team has really found his mold. Always is in the right place at the right time, it feels, and when he's playing his saving heroes especially, this SD and his Tusk are insane.
Yeah, I mean, the saves are going to be so crucial in this game, just because of how much kind of go and lockdown and damage Turndra have to throw down on targets. See the dive come in. This time they're going to be able to finish him off. Can't run away this time round. Now with the numbers, Mouz grouping up again, trying to pressure the tier 2. The fortification will come out from Turndra. And BZM is in the neighborhood, not quite having the Ags, but he's super close. So 250 gold off the Aghanim, 17 minutes in. It's going to be a very fast Ags timing. BZM ready to start the defense. That's the setup, while Wing Ripper will tank the arrow that was coming in for Celery. So Celery able to save himself with that little bit of micro.
That was a cool pressure play though from Mouz. So I was saying like they wanted to maybe wait for the Largo timing, but instead of doing that, they actually just pressure elsewhere while Boom catches up and gets that Aghanim's finish. So a pretty clever kind of pressure play from Mouz that they want to be doing, right? Because they want to continue to set that tempo. That was really smart the way they did that. Killing the SF, lingering for the Centaur. They knew he was going to stay.
Going for these sort of 5-man objectives with these timings is going to feel pretty good, right? They step into the pit. They're ready to try and enable Crystallis getting the Roshan. Cataclysm's now under attack. Yeah, the timing is that Ag's timing could not be better here for him, but I don't know if that's going to be able to interrupt in time. It's going down quickly. Somebody's got to get in there soon. They're not able to stop it. It's already gone. Roshan taken ages picked up, and they'll go straight away aggressively over towards Ari. The Tornado will come in to hold back Crystallis momentarily. They've got the Stampede in. Oh, nice 3-man. Who's stopped from 33? Jump fall from Whitemon. They still have to be careful. Turndra fighting into this 5-man and Mouz. Crystallis, the middle air part of it, but they get the hold ultimate off with the Requiem. They blow up the Aegis to once. Can they take him out a second time? Chrysalis, he's still got the Enrage at the ready. Starts to stack up the swipes onto 33. Dust out as well onto the Centaur. So 33 on the front lines. He's in a bit of trouble. He's got a host on. Won't be able to get it off in time though. Chrysalis jumps in, finishes him off. But Pure stacking up the raises. Yamage comes in with a defensive disruption onto Chrysalis. Pure jumps back in though. Is able to finish off the job, taking Chrysalis down. Tundra standing strong and look at the toss forward. Avalanche as well onto Boom, but Boom's pretty beefy, of course, pumping out those heals. BZM though tries to disrupt him with the Tornado into the Meteor Hammer combo. Have they got enough damage though to take down this Frog? Boom still standing strong. He's ready to chase BZM down, just running him out of the fight. He'll get the Frog stomp into the catch. You lick, he's just chasing him down, strumming his guitar. BZM, he's not bought the earplugs. He's dead. Boom, runs him down, takes him out. I mean, that's some classic Largo gaming for you there.
That was Largo.
Boom was having a great time. I'm sure he had a smile on his face the whole sort of ending of that fight whilst he was chasing B.
As Boom,
Dire's
Aghanim's-
middle tower is under attack.
we're gonna see the power.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So silly. Once he gets to this timing.
That's the tier 2 going in the mid. Oh, Ari.
Has fallen.
Right?
And the toss back on a mid one. That's a good toss back. Mid one though. Heals, are they enough to keep him alive? No. The Sunstrike comes in, BZM's able to take him down, and now Tundra's ready to chase down another. So I love all sort of those situations where, you know, Mouse, they get an objective, but they don't quite get it cleanly, right? You know, they don't get it quick enough to back off. They end up losing
They want
2
more.
heroes. And indeed, Tundra, they're on their way over. I mean,
Pure,
Chrysalis,
he's got the stacks, right? He's got the lasting presence, so they want to keep building him up probably.
that Chrysalis got to
And
get
it's
out of here.
Yeah, they can't get
Ooh.
He got it. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
That was a little bit close. And
Got him. He got him.
Okay. All right,
Oh.
BCM. All right, BCM. He's here. He's ready to play. He's had his breakfast. These
Oh, my-
Sunstrike,
I mean-
these moves. You can't run from this Invoker.
Quinn said it, right? Why'd they get it? Why isn't it why isn't it not
Dire's
banned?
top tower
I think that's what
BZM
BCM. He's
show.
also said that. He's like, why did they not ban this?
Holy crap, dude. 8, 2, and 3. He's landed majority of them, and he's doing the
Yep.
build. I love this build. This you just go for the Ags into the Gleipnir, your AoE,
Yes.
and your when you hit
Yes,
20, these
exactly.
meteors, I swear,
Oh,
people
yes.
just die and they don't even notice when they're getting hit by these meteors.
Oh, yeah.
It happens even in high-level pubs.
Yes, that extra AoE feels phenomenal
So nice.
as well. Still, my biggest sadness with
Radiant's
Dota 2
bottom
when they
tower
moved that
is under attack.
These Nuts Blood Right or whatever it was to the tier 5 and you can't get it early anymore. I love the AoE. I wanted every game, Gleipnir into picking that at tier 3 or whatever it was back in the day. Why did they move it to
Radiant
60
are
minutes?
scanning.
Stupid decision. Valve, please fix. We need
Oh, and
the AoE.
the second we saw that item added, everyone knew this was going to be the most broken tier 4 neutral ever. It's just the AoE on everything.
AoE on it, it's just amazing. Everyone needs more AoE. So why did they have to take it away from us and put it at 60 minutes? Disappointing. Anyway, back into the action. Smoke up from Mouz.
Gen bot.
Let's see where they go with
As you
this.
said,
You know,
they have pretty big timings. Yamich has a Blink Dagger 2 to reach for the saves. Boom has this Aghanims. They've got what? Level 3 Croak now, mid 1 Atos. Bit tankier.
Oh. I mean, if they find
Fine.
BZM, obviously, that's the huge catch. If you can take BZM out of the fights and stop him from pressing all these spells, pressing all these cataclysms, that's going to be the dream way to start a team fight. But obviously, as it is, you know, BZM, he's not one to get caught out. Always in a very smart spot, far away from any sort of
Radiant's
danger.
bottom tower is
Pure
under
probably
attack.
wants his BKB before this next fight too. He's pretty close to it. Versus that Lesh would be incredibly useful.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I love
attack.
the song. I've been playing this hero so much and just I know exactly what he's doing every time.
Well, looks like they're not going to get anything with the smoke.
courier has been killed.
Top.
Tyler is going to lose his courier, so that'll be the Dragon Lance postponed a little bit.
33 is at 300 HP.
He's nearly dead. What? He's got a stampede. I mean, BZM will not be saved, so that's well, that's a dead Invoker, and the 33 nearly losing a battle there to the neutral creeps.
You know what it was too? It's the Rabble Rouser. It's the Enchantress. We forgot about
very
it for a
much
bit.
was right. You're
56%
absolutely right.
damage, and dude, he was getting his ass beat by those.
Get
neutrals.
destroyed. By that sort of
Actually
small
getting
camp.
destroyed. Okay, and they found BZM, the prime target in the front line. BZM has to be pretty careful with his positioning since his only real bailout, I guess, this game. Sure, he's got some toss back, but it's really just a stampede for now.
Dire's top
Yeah,
tower
and
is
that's the
under
funny
attack.
thing. I don't even know if he was stampeding for BZM. I think he was stampeding to get away from those neutrals. And then BZM's like, oh, I died, but I appreciate you stampeding for me, bro. And 33 is like, oh, yes, I did do that for you.
I sometimes
Those
forget about
neutrals
this.
were about to kill him.
Like, it's really important to point this out, this ability, because that's what, like, a lot of people forget about this, and you really do see people you just start dying to neutrals when you're not able to, like, pressure on the map, and you just start farming neutrals as being behind. It can be pretty terrifying.
Dire are scanning.
Good one. Shield rune, full Gleipnir.
Let's have a look. Turndra. Do they want to go on an Enchantress? Yes, they do. There's the
Under tower.
into the Cataclysm. Kill the Enchantress. And they will. And now the turn towards Chrysalis. Chrysalis got the backup, though, ready to walk it off. A rare miss there from BZM. Doesn't catch anyone with the Tornado setup this time. Mouz are able to split.
If he hits Yamich there, they might even full commit, because Shadow Demon's one of the prime targets you want to go for in these fights. There's still Moonlight Shadowed, but they're not going to be able to look for anything else there. So just an Enchantress kill.
Boom, very close to the BKB. So, I mean, then it's going to be kind of hard, right, to kill him in these fights. If he's popped to BKB, he starts pumping out his music, getting those heals going. Now, who wants to really spend time right-clicking the Largo? You don't, right? You know, I feel like Pure's going to have other priorities in these team fights. Like, Largo's going to live, and if Largo's living, then his teammates are probably living as well.
Yeah, it all depends if he gets caught by a stun, though, right? If he gets hit by an initial stun, he could just get
pre-BKB,
run, right?
Yeah,
so
they have to catch him.
We'll have to keep tabs with that. And keep tabs of where Yamich is, because Yamich can bail people out of the, you know, whoever gets ideally initially tossed or something, Yamich could potentially save. 3-3. Mid one. That's found him.
Yeah, so he's got the setup here. Gleipnir. Disruption as well. And 33. It's pretty tanky, but he's not tanky enough to withstand a bear getting on top of him. Chrysalis comes in with the swipes, the bashes. No chance of running away. 33 is gone.
This is a natural situation. He just ran into him. He's like, oh, hello there. Spot me small camp. Hi.
Oh, well, close game on the numbers. 13 to 16.
It is.
Less than a 1k gold difference right now. What would you say? You know, is this Mouz achieving as much as they would have hoped for at this point of the game, or is this Turndra getting the game to be in a point where they're like, well, BZM's having a great farm, Pure's having great farm. These two, we're going to be able to take it late, farm the map out, take the game in the fashion that Turndra like to do so.
I think Mouz would maybe want to have a little bit more, but I think that I think all things considered, not bad, right? I think sure they want to get a little bit more ahead here rather than let the game slow down to the point for Turndra. But this Ursa is very farmed, so Ursas can win games by themselves in a way. So we shall see which one it is the case, especially since that quarter four matchup versus the SF. It's the BZM Invoker that just always can make the difference. You can never really count it out in any way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Getting both of the lanes shoved out quite nicely.
Radiant's
BZM bringing in the
middle
mid.
tower is under attack.
Pure and Whitemon starting to bring in the bottom lane up to the tier
Dire's top
2s,
tower
whilst
is under
Mouz, you know, they're
attack.
all in on this pressure on the one lane up on the top side.
Radiant's
See if they
bottom
should
tower
be able to
is
get
under
away with
attack.
this tower. They will. So
Dire's
Mouz
top
able to,
tower has
again,
fallen.
just continue to group up to look for
Radiant
these
structures
objectives.
are fortified.
But you know, it's not without giving the space for Turndra to
Radiant's
still
middle
sort of
tower
match
is under attack.
how much sort of pressure they're finding on their own half.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's two tier 2s that are probably going to go down to that one T2 pressure of the side of Mouz with 5 heroes. So Tundra's doing what they do, right? Very split up, continuing to get that farm, waiting for specific timings to see if that, you know, those timings do end up
Radiant's
working,
middle
because
tower has
yesterday
fallen.
they
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're going to be careful about going into... As did have the last laugh. And boom.
Radiant's middle tower
They
is
wanted a
under
combo.
attack.
That's why they're going for multi-blinks, right? Centaur now has blink, SF has blink. They wanted to lead a hero at the start of these fights.
Here we go. There's the jump. It's a good 3-man avalanche into the Cataclysm.
Oh,
Moves up
baby.
Celery and Midborn. Beautiful. And Yamich at the end of that as well. I mean, that's what you're looking for, right? You get in 3-man avalanche, instant Cataclysm. The combo tried and tested. It's going to work out most of the time. Whew, BZM. He's trying to poke around with Boom on the high ground. 33, see if he gets the jump. Has to be a little
Radiant's
careful
middle
playing up
tower
towards
is
the
under
base.
attack.
See what they can do with these 3 kills they've picked up.
That was picture perfect. You literally couldn't ask for a better stun there coming out from the Tiny, just knowing the positioning of them there. Fair bit of control, and now they're continuing to at least like Hunter, I guess, push these lanes in. Tundra just wants to maximize, get that extra farm. From a 3k lead for Mouz to a 2k for Tundra. Mouz maybe feeling a bit shaken up, as we were saying. Probably wanted to be a little more ahead. Sure, they got the Rosh. Let's see what they can do with this Aegis, if they can mount a fight together. Because Tundra's just, they're splitting them up.
Spoiled that. Radiant's top
And
tower
damage
is
top.
under attack.
Oh, there we go. Pure will take that. And
You
this,
could get a
you know,
solo kill.
well, that's the thing, right? When you get these sort of runes on the SF, it can be a little bit of a bait. Because you're very tempted to go for that kind of crazy YOLO play. Pure, he will back out, though, as soon as he senses that they are aware that he's around. You got to be careful. Something about SFs and Shadow Blades and getting a double damage rune, most of the time it can not work out in your favor.
I gotta say, I'm really intrigued with the way that he's done the build, though. I know he did it yesterday, but I think it's actually a really cool way to make SF look very strong, at least in early game, because you are a good team fight spellcaster. Sometimes if your team is it Whitemon?
Whitemon,
Bye-bye.
rest in peace there. Oh, he'll, I was happy for the efforts. At least Ari will be happy for Whitemon.
Yeah, he's like, here you go, Ari. You got the worst shard for support in the game.
Are scanning.
That's true. I guess Whitemon was kind of hoping for his own one there. So he's kind of like, I died for this. So maybe not too happy.
How's the Lotuses looking too? So I actually should have been pointing this out earlier. I'm sorry. I'm still a little snoozing. How many have they gotten? I don't think they had too many, but I always like to point this out as we'll wait till
Dire's middle
35
tower
usually, but
is under
these
attack.
Lotuses late game with Mirana can be pretty ridiculous, the heal burst.
Smoke time from Mouz. I'm assuming that there might have been someone down here with how far out the wave got pushed, but of course, as we can see, Tundra, they don't have anyone around here.
BZM is at one of the peak timings. He's got the Gleipnir, he's got the Ags, he's got the Octreed, and he's got the 20 talent, so...
But the combo, they're going to try and burst through, and they'll do so easily. Christmas, he's ready to fight back, though. Jumps in on the horse, Pure, the Stampede's there. 33 comes in with the boost on more damage. The fear coming for the Requiem, pushing them back. Boom, did get the BKB off. He's trying to heal them up here with the music, but Yamich is taken apart by BZM. They now turn towards Chrysalis. They have the tornado control. Chrysalis surrounded. That's the Aegis gone. See, Boom, it's going to try and run down Ari and Whitemon. My goodness, the damage flying in here with the impetus from Celery will destroy Whitemon. Overall, Tundra, they are taking the fight one by one. I say that Pure, he's trying to go against Celery. Celery nearly able to out-heal the damage. Doesn't have quite enough heal, though, to get away with that, though. So Pure will still end up killing him. A good aggressive moves from Tundra. They just don't stop. BZM, he's got the catch on the frog. Look at the Who Stomp. Hammer down. Boom, he's dead as well. Tundra able to piece together a team wipe across the map there with those fast moves. Again, just for the jump, the opening stuns that Tundra have, proven to be a bit too much for Mouz. They have that just overwhelming amount of damage on Tundra's lineup, especially now at this point of how they're all scaling. It's very difficult, almost impossible for Mouz to live through that jump.
There's too much kite control damage. Honestly, you ban the Invoker. I quit. Yeah. Honestly, BZM's doing a lot. Sure, his damage didn't reflect from it there, but the control was ridiculous. Pure got to do all of his right clicks, and now Pure actually has a right clicking item. He actually has the data list, and he already did highest damage in that last fight. BZM?
Damage comes for the setup. It's a Stampede is ready for him.
Oof. Yeah. It feels like Tundra's hit all that timings now. It's pretty much like right after the blink on the Centaur. Sure, he's got all these other small items, but now they have really easy ways to get these setups. And yeah, we just saw in that last fight, at least last two in particular, how hard the team fights really do look. Mid one is now struggling quite a bit. I love watching BZM on this. I mean, I say ban the Invoker for the teams that are playing against him, but don't ban it because I want to keep watching this. It really is a treat.
Was a treat. Yeah, I just hope he finds the courage to bring back his Earthshaker. Where, you know, is that just hero? Is that hero just dead, like super dead? Did we have any games of that yesterday? Probably not, right?
I mean, we had a Naga Siren core, and it was
Sure,
a
I guess
primal
anything can
instead of a
happen.
shaker, right? So I
True.
mean, there's still a possibility maybe if all the other heroes do get banned and you're playing versus some illusions thing or something, but it definitely feels weaker,
Yeah.
quite a significant amount weaker. Fights now at this point for Mouz are difficult. It's like I'm looking at, I'm like wondering how they really start fights also, right? They don't really have an initiation tool. Their initiation would be Ursa jumping in and trying to do things.
Radiant's
Tundra has
bottom
1,000
tower
ways to
is
start.
Game. Sort of
Radiant
age-old
structures
situation
are
against
fortified.
Tundra where you've come in hot early, you've tried to do as much as you could to stop them,
Radiant's bottom
but you
tower
just
is under
couldn't. The
attack.
game's falling into this point now. It's coming up to a 20k net worth lead for Tundra. You know, Tundra, they're in their element at this point. They don't tend to
Dire's
lose
top
these
tower
games now.
is under
No,
attack.
another toss back. Farewell. Yeah, they hit their time. I truly just waited for these timings, big ones. I mean, they were hitting quite a bit of them before anyway, just with like some Sunstrike
Radiant's
like
bottom
casual kills all over the place. But yeah, once they get these multiple blinks off and
has fallen.
BZM feels confident.
Radiant's middle tower is under
You know,
attack.
they're ready to close this one up, Tundra.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's
Mouz.
middle tower
Yeah,
has
good
fallen.
effort in the early game, just wasn't enough.
Radiant's
They
middle
couldn't slow them down.
barracks
Tundra getting the style on them here in these final moments. Get some extra kills in the fountain. Why not? They're going to look towards Celery. He'll be able to force himself away, but the tier 4s are gone.
Radiant's
Ancients
middle tower
exposed.
has fallen.
They don't have the buybacks to push them back here. Celery.
Four staff.
That was
33
very
forced
nice
them in.
effort, 33. And now with the toss back as well, Ari finding the setup onto Yamich as well. He's going to jump forward. He's got the BKB at the ready. He's just ready to rack up more kills. Another triple kill for him. This game is over. GG is called as Tundra able to do it in the classic Tundra style.
He actually hit 10 stacks left.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
One must always remember that the sun also rises.
I leave this world.
Regeneration.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Let's go.
Better swim for it.
Invisibility.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
I hadn't spawned yet.
The children of light have
Double
failed,
damage.
but I honor them with this kill.
Turn to ban. Extreme Gaming's turn to
Lion.
Team
remaining.
Falcon's turn to pick.
10,
Now select your heroes. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Time to get into the action here of Extreme Gaming versus Team Falcons. Fogged, what do you make of this? We're getting to see some sort of some sort of different switch ups. You know, Lina coming in last, for example, for Maureen. Something, of course, he's very comfortable on the Grandmaster tier on this Lina, but not something we're used to seeing at the moment from a lot of mids. Do you think this is mainly because of the matchup? You know, what is the reason for Falcons going this way?
I think probably a combo things, right? I think it's the matchup, but I think the hero's also been maybe slightly overlooked in a lot of situations. It's gotten some buffs. I think the 7.40, it's been some time, of course, since it, but this cast range on Laguna is actually pretty big difference. I don't know if you I know you like to play Lina, but I know you felt that a lot, right? The Laguna, sometimes it's like you cast both your spells and you just can't really reach. These small things absolutely add up. And yeah, versus the Quap, it's a hero that can build different. He might still just go the magic route because that's the one that I've been seeing still a little more, even though he goes the right click facet. But we'll see. He has options, and versus the cores that he saw, right? Versus Gyro, he's got good distance in the lane. He's good versus Quap. Versus Timber, he's good in the game overall, and limited catch. So on paper, it looks like a very good Lina game. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do on it. That's on paper. So
yeah, because I mean, it definitely feels like if this ends up being a game where the Gyro, you know, the Gyro can kind of out-carry a lot of these heroes. Obviously, the Ursa's an issue, but, you know, being the Lina, the CM, the Bounty as such, you know, the Flax in the later stages could get quite annoying if you don't work Gyro at the start of the fight.
At least what I felt in this one was Extreme just wanted to, you know, they saw and they're like, okay, let's pick these like pretty strong heroes in these positions. The Timber maybe a little, I don't know, that one was a bit forced for me, but then they wanted a stun. But then afterwards, for me, I look at Falcons and it's just counter pick after counter pick after counter pick, right? They see the Chen, they pick Bounty Hunter, right? So they're going to be stalking this Chen. It's an old school kind of counter thing. They have to pivot a bit because of that last thing. And I think it was a really good, like Quinn was talking about it too. I was thinking to him, like, what's the best offlane option left? I was looking at like Centaur. There really wasn't great options for Amar. So this pivot probably feels the best. So let's see if it does work, because XG, they've looked pretty impressive. They had an insane comeback yesterday. So also looking forward to see the new XG, because they do seem to be playing a bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to see what they've got in store for us. And talking about playing faster, they're straight off the bat going out into the map with this smoke, looking for this first blood XG.
Right.
see snaking. Ooh, stun off the mark though from FY. Honestly though, even if that did hit, it would have been right at the tip, so I don't know if they would have actually been able to take him down that close to the tower.
Minus 80.
Yeah, that's true. Smoke's gone, dust gone.
Oh, minus 130. You're right.
Yeah.
30 seconds to battle.
Power of bounty.
And I think that it was just one dust, right? They didn't pop 2 dust, did they? I feel like I might have seen pop 2.
Would be shocked if 2 people bought dust.
Hardly notice.
Okay, then. Yeah, no, you're right. It must have just been the Chen, right? It was just X Nova. Yeah. Yeah, just smoke of the dust down the drain.
Yep, scouting information. So crit, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he saw the wards placed, but he might have, because he was kind of stalking them. They might be able to get that one. I see Snaking pinging it, so a chance that they do get that D ward immediately too. Yeah, let's see how these lanes go. I haven't gotten to see too much off-lane Sanking. Could be one where he struggles, but he is versus a Chen, right? So Chen Gyro, incredibly oppressive hero, but Chen sometimes, quite a lot of the times, not really the most oppressive. You usually can take advantage of this and get something out of the lane because the hero naturally can't really bully. And there's probably gonna be lane pulling, right? The bounty's probably gonna try to manipulate stuff. So see what we do get.
Crit giving some good info here.
My biggest concern I really do have for XG is that they literally only have like one way of catching heroes, right? It's all FY. He's the stun, he's the catch, he's the hex, and besides that, their chase is like a quap chasing with blinks and shadow strikes and a timber saw chaining forward, so could get to some weird situations where they don't have lockdown in a lot of plays.
Easy bounty in there for crit.
Little stun, we'll be able to claim that one.
So, in terms of the gold, you know, that's Falcons up 3 bounty runes against the 1, and obviously XG down a smoke and a dust. So, yeah, little bits of a gold offset as the game begins.
And let's see how, let's really see how these lanes go, because I do feel like at least 2 of them, Falcons has a very strong position to be able to punish quite heavily. The CM plus Ursa can do quite well versus Lion Timber, and then the Lina versus the Quap mid. We'll see how that matchup goes, but Malrine should do quite well in that one too. So let's see how things go down. I'm happy to see the CM too. It sounds so weird even saying that as it comes out of my mouth, but Falcons is probably one of the only teams that plays it, right? And Snaking spams it. He plays it literally every game in pub when he can. So
bottom lane, that's a dead Amar. Right to the face, and just right click down there from the 2 of them. It's Amar dead.
Yep. Sometimes that doesn't happen with the Chen, right? Like Chen sometimes the first level's not that strong, but that movement slow plus blood grenade, it's enough.
What was kind of the skill build and the item builds that we're seeing from the offlane Sand King, do you reckon?
I don't think we've seen many of the offlane Sankings, but I don't know.
No, that's what I'm wondering,
right?
yeah.
I don't know. I think you still just do the same things, right?
Like, but how much are you prioritizing the blink in your build?
I still want to see him get it fairly early.
You don't want to see some sort of slower aura build up, or?
I just don't think Amar is that type of player. Because I was thinking maybe he goes Greaves, because Greaves are so good right now, but it's not really the best Greaves game. And then Amar is just not really that kind of player. So I just think he's going to do more standard. Maybe some like boots, maybe some upgraded boots into the Blink Dagger.
Looking at the mid lane matchup so far, nothing to say, being kept very low, just down to that 1 fairy fire whilst the bottle's already out from Marine. Bottle is just about to be delivered here for nothing to say.
The power that... Nothing to say. Goodness.
Oh my goodness, how you blink like that, that was a little spooky. This blinks in for CS.
Another power thing that they do have, I'm seeing X Nobody's prioritizing the lane at the moment with this creep, but what they can do is send this creep for the runes too, right? So for Malrine, they might need that +1 to check the runes at sometimes. Yes. They could just get that situation where they're double checking and then he just gets denied them. So see if that ends up coming into play also.
Which I guess is fine, right? Because they have crit on the bounty. He can move up and down pretty easily. Try and help things out for Malrine.
These carries are going to probably both have pretty solid free farm, right? The Gyro maybe slightly more because it feels like he's completely uncontested. The Ursa might get some CS stuff from like a stun or a hex here and there. X Nova continues to just do very well in this bottom lane too. We've seen nothing to say. Continue to get beat, so it's difficult to look away from mid. But
dude, he's living on the edge. He really is. You know, he's constantly super low HP. He's blinking in as well for these CS. It's working out obviously so far. You know, not winning the lane by any means, but definitely still able to finish a farm in this matchup that can get very scary for the co-op.
He's got Malrine low too, right? Like if he can actually ever get that chance of getting the commit, but it's just too difficult. He's got the extra regen though, these extra tangos. Malrine is gonna have to bring more out.
He's playing it nicely to the limits and nothing to say.
Yeah.
To ensure that he doesn't get completely stomped. You know, again, he's doing perfectly fine. Wave on the tower. Bottom lane, Dust is out. Flat cannon hits coming in, bringing Amar down low. Amar will be fine. Same to be said for Crit, but both kept incredibly low and pretty much out of regen. They just have a Fairy Fire on Crit. Amar just munching on that last tango.
Jesus, pushing the limits.
Yeah, Armo is going to be continuing to be very happy down here against these two. I mean, a very nice start to the game.
The more I look at this lane too, it's the double invis, right? So the dust is very valuable. Dust and sentries are really good down here for Next Nova.
That's very true. I mean, to the point where, like, is this even a lane duo, do you think, that we've seen much over kind of the years of Dota? Bounty, Sand King?
No, not really. But it was a situation of let's pivot, right? Like, let's get Malrine this, so. Top. Success.
It's good Hex from FY. And it's going to be enough to keep XXS safe. Stop Skeeter from being able to continue to stack up the swipes.
Radiant's courier has
It's cool
been
how they did this, right? They pick the Timber, which it can be a bit vulnerable when you first pick it if an Ursa gets grabbed, but they have the Lion to at least dissuade and stop these constant pressure plays. Well, sure, the Timber's getting slowed down a bit there, but they're also stopping the aggression. He's not dying. Yeah, no, the Lion's super nice. I think you have to have a support that's going to stop this Ursa CM just from destroying your offlaner, right? Because Ursa CM, like on paper against most of the tanky offlaners, that in itself, you know, you're looking for kills. And at the moment, Falcons, they're just not going to get the chance to get them. All in all, pretty close start. I will say, you know, I think this mid lane, the way that Nothing to Say's kind of played it, you know, played it to its limits, he's kind of coming out on top. He's got this full wave coming in. He cleans this up. He's going to be ahead of the Lina. And, you know, Malorine's having to take the walk back to base. You know, Nothing to Say. He's played this very, very well, this matchup. Both on the side lanes. Having pretty much similar farm being found by both XXS and Amar. Similar in terms of levels as well. Both just about to, you know, kind of halfway through the level 4. Mid lane. Nothing to Say. He's hit the 6. Sonic Wave with the ready, so got to keep our eyes on him in terms of coming in for rotations. Getting maybe a +1 in the mid to try and punish Malrine. It's going to be hard now though that Malrine's been able to reset. Get back up to full HP, full mana. And here's that movement coming in for XGFY. Turns up. He'll get the opening stun. But the TP's coming into place. He's going to need TP back up here, Malrine. He's going to try and turn with the Laguna. Actually forcing Nothing to Say to have to blink away. He's getting right-click down by X9 and FY, but it's not enough to kill him. Both survive with the support backup. Malrine's able to get out of there. Nothing to Say will be able to take a walk back to base. We'll see what he does when he gets back to base, because obviously he does still have Sonic Wave ready to go. Obviously Malrine on the other side did have to use the Laguna to scare Nothing to Say off. So could be opportunities for him to TP out to a side lane, look to use the Sonic Wave to go aggressive. May continue to have a very chill time on the bottom lane, but it's to be speed up. Skeeter just about to hit the 6. We'll see back in the mid. Crit tries to turn up, get some XP. FY will be quick to have something to say about that one. Captures him with the Hex and ensures that they can start getting some pressure onto this tier 1 themselves in the mid. Malrine's going to be still hovering around, but especially with Crit dead, could be a bit difficult trying to push them back off the tower. Scan's been hit as well, so Malrine knows that both supports are still hovering around this mid area. They're going to be bringing Amar over to try and deal with the pressure being put onto the mid tower. Amar. Sandstorm out. Still very scary part of the map. He's thinking about teasing around with the epicenter, but alone it's not really going to happen. He knows they've got a sentry down still here. Full control here of the pressure on mid, so they can set things up for Nothing to Say to try for the power rune. Falcons, they don't want to let him have a free power rune. Laguna's going to get thrown down upon him. Power rune will end up being down on the bottom side, but with as low as Nothing to Say is, he won't be able to head over and pick that up himself.
Amar can keep that safe for the hand of Maureen. Also, this focus has been going on the mid lane. SXS has started to put some more pressure onto Skeeter whilst he's alone. FY comes in with a rotation. As the opening's done into Hex, but they don't feel fully confident going for it, knowing that Skeeter still has the Enrage. Snake King comes in with the response. Skeeter pops the Enrage. He looks to try and take XXS down. And with the two supports here, they'll get him. They bring XXS out of the game, but not before XXS was able to snipe Skeeter there with that final twisted chakram.
Dire's
So
top tower is under
XXS
attack.
at the end of it all, getting what he came for. He's able to kill the carry first, forces big rotations from Falcons. He will not mind dying there whatsoever. Mid lane, Maureen with the shield ring, ready to stand strong, start to beat back into the tower of nothing to say. Whilst all this is going on, of course, Amar did spend a few moments away from that bottom lane to try and alleviate the pressure being put onto the mid-tier 1 tower. Has, of course, meant that Arme's just been able to get continued space. Back up top, another setup here with the stun, but Skeeter should be safe enough under the tower. Let's see if XXS wants to dive in again. This time he's got his sights set for Snake King straight in. With the Timber Chain, Snake King will not be able to escape XXS. So this top part of the map is starting to get very, very dangerous for Falcons around XXS's Timber. He's proven that whoever turns up the tier 1, he will be able to take them down. FY wants to pick up some of the XP in action in the mid. Welcome back, Fox.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Starting to
attack.
see both teams, they're starting to make some pretty aggressive moves across the map. XG, they're getting a lot at this top lane. XXS was able to kill off Skeeter and then kill off the CM. And they might just be able to find a chance to go for Skeeter again. Arme's turned up here for the first time with that twin gate movement. Extra bit of pressure to take the tower down. You know, they're starting to get that little bit more active than Falcons can deal with. XG starting to really make these early game moves, keeping Falcons on their toes.
Pretty cool that they're doing the play around the Timber Saw here, right? The Quap, I missed like 2-3 minutes, so apologies, but it looks like the Quap got a bit just shut down because the Lina, right? So they're looking to play around the strength of the Timber and they rotated up there, so yeah, pretty good. And he's got a lot of stacks too. I mean, looking at XXS, this is what, a triple stack, and then he's got a double, so to enable his timing. And he's gonna go for pipe, so he's gonna counteract, or look to counteract at least the offlaner in the mid a bit here, rather than looking to counteract the Ursa. So we'll see who wants to be the Ursa itemization counter, since he's going that route for now.
Yeah, mid.
That's actually, wow, nothing to say with Urn too. That's something I don't really see too often either, at least on these mid quaps.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I sort of say to you, that he's just all in on trying to get involved in these early skirmishes and kind of start to snowball with the fight.
I don't know. I mean, I love Urn as an item, but I don't really see it too often as a mid. Maureen.
For the jump here onto Maureen. An instant stop there at the ultimate. The Hex comes in. The heals as well from the hand of God, keeping FI alive. Just a little bit longer. He'll still die, but he's able to be around to ensure that they bring down Maureen. For more here, diving into the tower, they get snaking as well. And they might not even be done there yet. They're looking towards Crit. He's still got the Shadow Walk on cooldown for 12 seconds. There's no chance of escape. XXS, he's getting so much. He's able to clean up on that top lane. Now just bringing his presence over towards the mid lane, getting involved in the action. Now ready to take down this tower. This Timber's definitely going to be a problem for Falcons.
I love that too. Like, I love the way that he's playing just to be that body, right? Nothing is maybe struggling a bit. Now the Urn immediately pays off, right? He gets 3 kills, gets the charges. It looks great. So always an item that, I mean, it's weird on mid sometimes, but I'm never mad about seeing an Urn in particular. But yeah, great bodying by XXS. Allows him to get all those spells up. And just the stacks continue. I'm just seeing X Nova more and more stacks too. So the economy game looks very prepared from XG in this early. Mar does have so
yeah. They've got to do something big with this reveal. They've got a smoke coming out as well. But it's still not an easy jump. I mean, when they look to go for this kind of smoke play on the Sand King, who are they going to try and get on top of? Just looking straight for the quad?
Any of the cores, really. I think those are all good targets, especially now that Hand of God is down. You have good option to be able to get the kill.
Sure. I mean, can they burst XXS? You think they still, at this point, if they do get the jump with the Epi and a +1, whether it's the Lina or the Ursa, they can kill XXS?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's not, I don't think this game, you know, sometimes there's these games where the Timbers become pretty unkillable. This one might be, it might take some time, I would say, since he's versus Ursa and Lina, 2 heroes that just have that crazy explosive damage, and they have good lockdown, right? They have the double stuns plus the frostbite from the CM, so Definitely will have kill threat. Right now, a lot of ults were used, so that's why I think, at least I think, Falcons is going to look to go for something here because Hand of God was used, Sonic Wave was used, pretty much everything was, and mid tower is low. So let's see if they do want to look to make that move around these timings, or if they do just want to play a little bit more content in hitting creeps. I'd imagine they do want to make a move, though.
Well, let's see. Especially with Arme getting as much space as he has been, and you know, TP is at the ready for him as well. So if some sort of fight does get forced around a tower, highly likely that the gyro will turn up and respond.
I always like looking at all these different gyros too. It's so insane, the different varieties of builds that we see on this hero, right? Some players never Wraith bans. Ame, he goes Wraith bans. Some players never Aghanims. Some players really like getting the Aghanims first. So looks like Ame is going to go down that Aghanims route, at least is from what we see. I'm always like looking for a reasoning too. That's my crazy thing. Like sometimes I can clearly see it, right? Like when your Toro sometimes buys like a Mantha, you can see lots of things that he's dispelling or something. But sometimes it's like other players just don't do the same. So it's always cool. I love when you. That's the beauty of Dota, is how many different things that you can do with your builds, especially on a hero like Gyro.
There we go. Crit's back in.
Okay.
Let's see where they go with this smoke play. Snaking, TPing over, ready to join him up.
Which time do they have? It's not like the easiest or quickest too. They have 30 seconds till Sonic Wave. There isn't amp damage on Nothing to Say. See where they're gonna hit. Or if they just settle for a kill into a tower.
I guess they will.
Just
a quick blink into the burrow strike.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The tier 1.
Radiant's middle tower
Can still look for another play. They're still in the area. Snaking is still lingering, and even Nothing to Say can get brought down from the chain stun since they do have the 3. I love seeing Lina, CM, and Sanking together. It reminds me of Dota 1. I feel like these heroes were always played in Dota 1.
It's pretty classic, isn't it? Yeah.
Because it's just classic. They have stuns. They're easy. They do their job. Set up around bottom. They do have great ward coverage. XG is just, this is the protect Ame wards. Double wards placed inside the jungle to ensure that he can get that safe farm. And now he actually switch. He goes crit first. So I love seeing that, right? Like he had everything else queued up, but
he walks up. He's gonna get caught in the combo. He did not expect them to be ready there. I mean, FY perfectly sort of positioned around the tree line. As soon as Etmar was in range, FY gets the instant catch.
He went for the high five too. Oh, that was funny. Tower pressure.
Dire's
Gen creeps are here.
is under attack.
Without the Sanking, it's very hard for them to mount defenses around these towers.
Dire's
and it is going to be around that wisdom too. They might just be able to steal it away. TPs are coming. Skeeter doesn't want to lose that.
I mean, can Falcons actually fight into this gyro though?
He can bring the numbers.
Looks like XG is scared. Yeah, actually don't want to risk it with the fact that they know that Falcons are going to bring numbers across. They'll play it very safe there, XG.
Just having, they saw the Quap, I think, and maybe even the Timber. So as soon as they see that, Skeeter TPs, they're like, yeah, we can bring numbers. If they want to contest us, we'll kill them. So heads up move. Skeeter, Battle Fury's done. 1,000 behind the gyro. I'm most impressed with XXS this game, though, as you were mentioning from earlier, right? He is 2 in a potentially what could have been a pretty hard lane. His pipe is nearly finished, and that's going to be, I mean, pretty huge versus the Sanking in particular, at least early game. Quite a bit of auras. Their timing actually on XG could be very strong to fight in these next few minutes because they're going to have the mech, they're going to have the pipe, and then just naturally with their heroes, they have a lot of team fights. So see if Falcons is going to be prepared when that comes to them. Initiation maybe a little lackluster on the side of XG until they have a blink on FY, but strong fight anyway. Crit.
Just getting some info here. He has got backup ready to connect, but XXS is not going to need to spend any longer clearing the stack. It's already cleared. So no opportunity for them to get the jump onto him. And as you say, yeah, that timing's been hit. So next time around, even if they do find him, it's not going to be a guaranteed quick kill jumping this Timbersaw now.
No. They do at least have, I always want to point this out too, is they do have the track damage. Sometimes this one's completely forgotten about, but could make the difference in some situations to burst targets.
Scanning.
And he's very close to Vessel too, which is another one of those that's also, of course, killing the targets. Crit.
Oh, they've seen him. Sentry was still down here around the twin gate. Crit ends up walking in range of it.
Start of your
That's why we'll take that kill all day. He really wants to get this blink at a decent time to have that, pretty much just that catch and control. And we do see the build from Malrine, so he's just going straight BKB. That's actually pretty interesting. It's honestly strong, right? It gives you good damage too, and the survivability in this game could be pretty relevant.
See around the mid. Gonna go in with the epi on towards X Nova. They'll get him.
Snaking.
See if they can all get out. Snaking through the trees should be fine. Marion's gonna opt for the TP out. Amar, he's also okay. Nothing to put a stop to that TP. But it's a few times, right? I mean, both of these blink plays have just resulted in a support kill. They're not really getting anything big with these moves, Falcons.
No, difficult for them to get. I mean, finding Ame right now is still difficult. He's playing just insanely safe. They'll just take what they can get. I mean, the mid one made a lot of sense, right? The one that they took the tower. This one,
sure.
Maybe just because there's not a whole lot happening, they want to just slow things down a little bit here, force a reaction. EKB, it is finished on the Lina. FY very close to blink. This blink can do so much this game actually on FY.
Yeah, and it's a decent amount of finger stacks already. Yeah, and the 3 stacks at 17. That's not bad at all for the support line.
Dire are scanning.
He's the one to kind of stop. He's the combo breaker in a lot of ways too, which is kind of weird to say, but since he's the only stun on the team, he kind of has to be maybe in some situations of just blinking in and throwing his life away to stop something. Very even on the numbers here.
And Ame, yeah, just 100 gold away from having that axe on top of the Crystallis, so he should be able to kind of keep his farm just that little bit ahead of Skeeter. And I'm sure Skeeter's got the bat off here. I guess Skeeter's also got the blink now on top of it, so we'll be able to clear up that, get around it a bit quicker. So honestly, it's probably going to be quite close between these two.
Probably just depending on who's going to win the Tormentor fight in particular, right? Because that's probably going to start coming up soon. FY. So close.
Radiant's bottom
He's
tower
ready to come
is
right
under
back at them.
Yeah, XG's ready to fight. They have level 12 just now on the Queen of Pain too, so they've hit a couple of timings that it looks like they do want to play around here. I'm seeing some more itemizations get queued up too. The Yules are starting to get queued versus that Ursa. Yeah, Blink is done now. So now they have, like I said, an actual initiation tool. So who contests the Roche and those Tormentors are definitely going to be a big point of contention in this game, since there is that Chen who can force things and there's that Ursa who can force things on the other side. XG smoked, well tracked.
Radiant's
Smoke's going to dispel that. FY knows that someone's around.
Dire's top tower is
And
under
that's
attack.
quite the courier snipe there. Mar did manage to get the blink dagger courier snipe. They do still surround Marine though. Put the BKB. They'll try and run. See if they can chase him down. Homing missile heading his way. XXS in with the timber chain. They got Marine off. Now the homing missile's going to redirect over towards Amar. But get the blink off, so it's created quite the distance. It's enough to stop them from being able to chase by the looks of it. He should be perfectly fine. Both trucks back up. So a little bit of a trade there. You know, Falcons, they did have Amar finding that courier of FY, so the blink dagger's out of the game for an extra minute. But losing them, it probably not going to be worth it, especially, yeah, objectives are now on the map to be taken. XG moving into the pit. It's not too hot there from Marion on the leader. That's a painful death.
Yeah, it feels like
should be a 3-1 for XG.
Crit had just scouted them and tracked them too. I guess they just didn't expect them to go down like that with the smoke. I don't know.
Radiant's
Totally caught them off guard.
is under attack.
I mean,
In the front line. Worst case scenario.
And it's going to feel a bit rough, right? When you know, as you mentioned, obviously playing this mid laner, going for the BKB as your first item that you rush, and then the first use of it is just you dying. You know, you don't buy this item first to have that sort of outcome, right? When you're going all in on this first BKB, you buy it because it's going to save you, or because it's going to allow you to turn up these fights, pop off, get kills. Because outside of that, the BKB rush, it can kind of fall flat on its face sometimes.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great this game, to be honest with you, because it's a lot of just magic damage on the side until the gyro gets close enough, which gyro getting close sometimes can be a bit difficult, right, versus something like Lina. So I can truly understand why he did go for it, but yeah, that's the worst feeling ever, right? Pop BKB, die immediately, like, there's nothing worse.
It's just the going for it first, right? Because by looks of it, what's he going to go back for now? Going to go back for like with a Maelstrom? And then obviously in
Radiant's
an ideal
bottom
world,
tower
and
is
usually you
under
want to try
attack.
and get your farming item online first, so could slow down his game a little bit here, Maureen.
No, absolutely. Malamar, though, he does have the Aghanims, so quite a bit of extra damage that they can go for, even versus anything like that pipe. It can do so much damage
Radiant
through
are
it.
Scanning.
As we do still see, I mean, even though he did die, right? I mean, it is still a good advantage of gold on him over the Quap, right? 2,300 advantage still, just because of that lane and just the way that Lina functions as a hero.
That's it.
21 minutes. Wisdoms, 1 for 1. Oh, okay.
Well,
I always feel like the teams have each other.
No, I'm looking
right?
at Maureen's got a second BKB queued up.
Sometimes players just queue things with
He's
the
definitely
item, right?
memeing, of course. He's buying a Maelstrom.
Yeah, but like usually they queue up an item just to get the Mithril Hammer in the spot.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Right.
For my
Or he buys a second BKB. That'd be absolutely hilarious.
That would be amazing.
First
of
time, I
course,
think.
there is no reason to do that, and he is not going to do that. And we do know that Falcons like to mess around with the quick buys.
Yes.
But he
buys
will
the
not buy a
Open
second BKB.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's not. But I mean, imagine. It's not going to happen. Okay, it would be very funny.
Okay, so timings. They're into Aegis, which is kind of. I don't think they're gonna probably want to do anything, which Falcons doesn't really like to do too much sometimes anyway, especially if they're on like the back foot here, which they are a little. But they do have good timings on items. They have double BKBs. They have the Aghanims. Let's see if they do go to go.
Radiant
There's
are
the jump.
scanned.
Nice FY gone. I mean, they do like to kill these supports. They want to get the cores, though. Well, look what I'm going to say. He's
Look
going
at
to
that
get blown up. So this time they'll get a bit of a bigger kill. Now turn towards XXS here with the numbers, Falcons. XXS getting brought down low. They'll be just able to burst him. They get the kill. Now, can they get out? That's coming in from FY. I mean, and they're not going to be able to get their hands on them. So Falcons very nicely getting away with the kills this time and getting the big ones. Getting the Quap, getting the Timber Saw. That's what Falcons are looking for.
Yeah, playing pretty passive until their timing. They literally got the BKB on the Earth and it was instant go.
Yeah.
So pretty much perfect timing to get that catch. It looks funny, but the epicenter on the Lion is definitely worth it. And then they get the follow-up catch because they do have damage for this Quap. They do have control for this Timber.
Yeah, nicely done.
They'll have time to get their ults back up, right? 50 seconds. That Sanking ult is going to be coming back up. Timber is going to be respawning about 10 seconds still, so they will have the availability to fight again around those.
Now, Marin, no, it's got the Maelstrom, indeed. Unfortunately, not the second BKB. So, yeah, he's chilling. As you say, you know, because quite the lead against this Quap from nothing to say. You know, nearly a 4K difference now at this point. And that's only going to accelerate now that Marin actually has his farming item online. It's not going to be an easy game, but nothing to say to keep up. He's going to try with a jump forward to a Mar. Success coming in as well. He's got any way out of this. He's got a burrow strike into a TP. Sonic Wave, the burst, not enough. Amar
No way.
will survive it and get back to the fountain.
There's actually no way that he lives there. That's insane.
Top. F1 does get the jump on towards Maureen. Missile heading his way, but he's got the BKB ready to press if he needs to. And by the looks of it, he doesn't even need to. He's fast enough. Already has the bottle charges healing him up.
These are huge
Weren't
moments
quite
for
able to
Falcons.
burst him. Yeah, Falcons surviving through these efforts of XG. Where, you know, ults are being thrown at them, but Falcons, they're living through it. Now Arme is stepping back up. He's still have the Aegis here for 40 seconds, and looks like they won't even be able to get through quite that. Arme's still very beefy, very farmed at the moment on the gyro.
These last few moments, though, are pretty crazy. You can just look at the graph in terms of golden experience. The way that Falcons has just been farming, and then they get these kills, it really catapults them forward, at least in terms of that. Because they hit the creeps incredibly well, and if they can fight, they hit them even better.
He's on the hunt here. We'll get the jump onto Snaking.
To the ice.
This one does feel like it's going to be a really difficult one for Ame. It feels like it could end up being like him versus the world with just some auras coming from his Timber, because his Queen of Pain is falling further and further behind. Quap as a hero is definitely a scaling one, but my goodness, 4K behind now. It was 2K just a couple minutes ago.
Yep.
4K now
Just
behind
drifting
that
further
mid.
and further behind. Just hard to keep up in the farm. And as we're seeing, you know, using these Sonic Waves, it's not proven to be enough to get guaranteed kills with the pick-off attempts that XG are trying to make. So it's going to be difficult for Nothing to Say to climb back into this game.
And he's gone for a bit of a, I mean, we could call it a little bit of a different build, right? Because I've seen so many different quap builds, but sometimes lately, especially I've been seeing like Treads, Kaya San, so you can get that type of scaling, so you can get that farm consistently. This one is more about kind of like a right of fighting style. So maybe it is limiting his farm a little bit more because of that. And now he's going for the Ags next, so it's all about fighting, not about farming really.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much it benefits for him as Maureen is playing for the farm and fight. Now he's got
He
the
really
Mjolnir
is.
and the BKB.
Yeah. Yeah, with this Mjolnir online, there's a high chance, you know, Maureen might even make it up to the top of the net worth. You know, you farm so fast on this Lina, so yeah, Maureen's going to continue to be super stacked this game.
Oh boy, they're going again. They are, these timings are very fast. It might not be, I don't think they'll be prepared versus this triple BKB timing of Falcons. Mame is very close to Daedalus though. That could be a key tool at least to have that extra physical versus these BKBs.
Definitely going to be looking to turn into sort of a 4 protect 1 here from XG.
Yeah. A 4 protect 1 with only one hero that can disable. So a lot of pressure on FY to get these stuns and controls.
Is under attack.
There we go. This is the Daedalus smoke that they're going to look to play with from XG.
Crit. Looking to break the smoke potentially.
One FY getting that catch.
Say.
Oh, it's a little awkward. They don't really get their hands on him. FY's still going to try, but in fact, Skinner's just immediately on top of the Lion. Skinner kills him off. Arme's going to try and stand his ground with the BKB, chase Skinner out of the fight. Jump forward for Nothing to Say, but Mauri's got the BKB ready to pop as well. There's the jump off the backwards of Mar, catching both X-Nova and Arme in the epi, and Mauri's ready to come in with the right clicks to clean up the both of them. It's looking to be a bit tricky here for XG now. These fights are just not happening in their favor. They went looking for this one. It ends up with 4 of them dead. Amar, perfect patience there, coming in with that blink stun to catch the 2 of them. I think, you know, XG might be starting to run out of options. You know, Arme, he's going to have a tough time carrying this game now.
It truly does feel like they needed to get more done in this early game. I feel like Falcons just were able to hit the creeps, get the items online to the point now where I'm really concerned of what they can do. Because FY, you saw there how much he got jumped first, and then there's literally no stuns. There's no catch. It's a Timbersaw relentlessly chasing to catch this Ursa, and then their BKBs wear off, at least on the gyro, and it's a free jump for Amar.
It really is. It really is. And just, yeah, Maureen is having a brilliant time. You know, that one sort of slip up earlier with the BKB reveal, but outside of that, you know, with the Mjolnir now going into Silver Edge, he is almost doing kind of tenfold what Nothing to Say is able to do on this quad. You know, so far behind on the Queen of Pain. It feels like he turns up for the fight. They don't even care at all. At the moment, Falcons, they don't even give him any sort of notice in these team fights because the quad just is not really doing anything against them with how far behind he is.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Maureen also did something interesting because I think Maureen, he is the specialist on so many heroes. Maybe even one of the best Linas, if not the best one as well too. He knows all the ins and outs. So he has this Fiery Soul magic resist too. So running around 60+% magic resist in the fights too versus a majority magic damage lineup. Like the gyro can't get to him. So it's really cool approach and the good pivot from Falcons as we're seeing them really hitting their stride in the last few moments. And for XG, yeah, all the eggs now in May basket.
Oh, and underneath this vision as well. I see him. Let's see if they can get the quick, easy kill. They will. Maureen will take that. Easy Laguna.
Snatched.
Also
talking about Maureen too. Got the best possible neutral. Serrated Shiv with Vast. So that range as well too. I don't know. Vast seems so insane. I feel like they always get it. These range carries as well too. They always get the enchantment.
It's that one, and then was the tier 4 one that gives you like attack range, attack speed,
and yeah, it's nuts.
Night vision as well. That one always feels amazing on any range carry. You get range core. If you get that one at the tier, what is that, tier 4, right?
Tier 4, yep.
Yeah, that one's the dream.
And then looking at Amar, he now has a Basher as well too.
Yeah.
He's got gunpowder. His damage is ridiculous. He's also hit the 20 count too, so it just gets massive inside the team fight. So yeah, this next fight looks very difficult for XG. Let's see if they can somehow mount it and allow Ame to actually attack targets. I mean, FY has to lock them down, and Ame has to be right on top of them.
They should be able to set up for
the
Tormentor. They'll get that. Shard for X-Nova. So the trade's occurring here with Roshan going into the hands of Falcons. Skeeter will grab the Aegis.
Yeah, even Ame got the fast. I was just looking, sorry, it took me a moment to actually point out the neutral items. But yeah, I swear, all the range heroes always get fast. And I never get GPM on my stupid little greedy support. Pretty interesting to see Crit also go Blink. So this is just, it says a lot about how they want to play of just reaching into backlines.
Middle tower is
Also,
under
if he just breaks like smoke, right, and he can just blink away, could just break any initiations for them since there's pretty much no
Dire's
catch on
top
XG.
tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He's finally got the Ags. Nothing to say. So we'll have that
Very
extra
slow.
little bit of annoyance in the team fights, but still obviously coming at a time that's not ideal. There's a slower build-up from him this game on the mid-quad.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And that pivot, right? It's just getting to play versus that Lina really shut him down most of this game. And just hard for him to make rotations to the side lanes too, as we've seen in that early game. Tried to play around top. Not quite enough. They're in.
And they are straight in on towards Ame. Ame will get the BKB off. He'll try and run, but Skeeter's on top of him. Ame, can he get back to the safety of the base? He's going to be fine, and now maybe they can try and turn. Skeeter's gone the once. Dealt with the Aegis, but they have lost FY, so they don't have that opening lockdown to try and go on a Skeeter the second time. Skeeter's able to freely blink out.
Skeeter played it very careful. He could have maybe BKB'd and committed and got the kill there, but he had to hold the BKB just in case of things. So Falcons, yesterday had some slip-ups. Today looking to clean up a little bit there. But yesterday I would have seen him BKB and chase maybe.
Illusion.
That's definitely looking a whole lot smoother from them today here. As XG really are going to have to start scrambling to find some sort of way to allow Ame to sort of step foot into the fights without having to just BKB and run himself. And Crit's got eyes on him. I'm going to look to clear out the tier 1 push.
Radiant's
They want to push forward though, not at the moment. They don't quite have a Mar with them, or Maureen as they slip back up across the map. Going to get that next round of items done. Amar going to look to go in towards the diffusal into disperser next.
I'm sure. Not sure why, but sure. He has the speed. Yeah, they're getting everything. Silver Edge also. See if the dished up. Mobility around the map. Incredibly strong. Falcons very comfortable now. Doing the Falcons thing, containing the enemy team, building up that lead more and more, getting these next few items. Disperser as an item is a pretty busted item, so I am seeing a couple of them queued up, even Skeeter as well. The more appropriate one.
And Ame not feeling in the realms of desperation yet. We're not seeing that rapier queued up. Still just the standard satanic into the butterfly that he's going to look towards as the gyro. Of course, still quite a way to go before he'll have both of those online. There's obviously the scaling from his other cores, XXS and Nothing to Say is not quite happening as fast as they would hope. Nothing to Say having to look towards getting it the Eon disc next.
Yeah, it does feel like it's almost in the realms of him needing it, though. Like, if that next fight goes relatively bad, he needs it, for sure. But it's also just hard for him to... it is hard. It honestly just is hard for him to itemize and get into fights, because, like, the Ursa jumps him, but he wants to get on Lina. There's no one to really get on Lina, so Maureen's just free. Which is definitely a big problem when it's like they have these two... I mean, they've, like, 3 carries almost, because even the Sanking is hitting very hard.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. I said, but all three of these are going to be contesting for top net worth.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Maori might end the game still as the top. Give him a few months, give him a fight, cleaning up. He's going to have an easier time cleaning up in the fights. Like he's just farming so fast now on the Lina. He's going to soon have that Satanic, and at that point, even if they do get the jump on him, he might just turn and full heal all the way back up.
I'll say Amar. I'll for Amar. Because I think he's gonna get
top net worth?
I think it's going to hit a level 25, and he's going to get one of these FBs that just kills everybody, but that's just a feeling.
Yeah, it could be any of them.
Yeah.
And I could it matters to them as well. You know, all three of Falcon's cores want to walk away from this game saying, I carried this.
And Snaking wants to look and be like, I'm higher than one of the cores on the enemy team, so he's not quite there yet. But XG, they are looking for the sneaky play here. XXS, Aghanims, and Atos picked up in these last few moments. FY.
Regeneration.
Oh.
Will they find Snay? He's got Blink and Force Staff. Did they get the initial catch onto him?
He's gone.
He is gone. They are maximizing on.
Yeah, they're getting so much across the map. Falcons, whilst, you know, XG is sort of chasing them around, looking or trying to look for these opportunities to catch someone out. It's not happening.
Oh, and did you see, by the way, Maureen? Look what he got, of course. Yep, serrated Shiv. And, of course, it's an alert serrated Shiv. Why?
Oh, that's the dream. Yeah, that's what it is, right? Alert. Yeah, this is... It just feels great. It's like, why do I get attack speed and attack range? And sure, throwing some night vision on top. It's just like you can't ask for anything better on some sort of ranged DPS hero.
I mean, even Ursa has it too. So it's some attack range too for these melee heroes that hit over.
That's true. Yeah,
I don't expect.
Absolutely.
Yep. Always strong. Yule's now for crit. Has a potential save as well for his teams that he's looking to buy. The Wind Waker is queued up for him. They now have how many different ways to... Well, the Yule's at least in particular versus Timbersaw, he can just dispel that Aghanims. So he has a few different plays around it with it for crit. Gold lead continues to grow. XG.
The opening. Eon Disc is there.
Eon. He just got it. How sad.
And what do you do for your XG? Do you have to keep sort of chasing around the map as 5, desperately looking for these kills? Is there sort of any way that you split up and just say, okay, we're going to try and farm up some next big item on our cores? Like, what do you do when Falcons have this amount of control?
Yeah, I'm just worried for them to split up, really, because if there's so many kill threats that Falcons have, is anybody split? I think they kind of just have together, which is pretty bad. So definitely going to see that gold, that net worth we continue to increase with Falcons. It's just not easy for XG. They even bought the gem, if I'm not mistaken, a few moments ago too, to try to clear out, get some information, but Falcons is just maximizing, and XG can't really hit the creeps in the same type of manner. Ame's trying to find places to farm, but it's in some scary spots. Potential scary spots. How are these levels looking? Ursa, almost 25. Satanic is done. Lina, Satanic is done. You said they're all pretty much doing the same thing. The team fights overall. For XG, yeah, there's going to be more damage, but again, the problem is control. And for Falcons, they absolutely have that control. They have ways to play around it too. Now dispersers are getting picked up for the Sanking. Yeah, playing the line in this game must be so stressful for FY. You're just like, I literally have to get the stunts, but I'm also vulnerable.
Just constantly sitting behind Armor or whatever to just sort of bait some sort of play, and you know, whatever core is on the front. And need to make sure that, you know, FY is ready to respond and try and provide some sort of safety that they can maybe turn and fight.
Uh-oh. Mid lane, nothing to say. Shows for a second. We'll be able to blink away. He's stalked.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They know they're smoked in the mid lane. Malrine did show it there with that stun. And they saw the nukes. Creep inside the Roche pit. XG will know when that Roche is up. About a minute or so that we'll see.
Falcons just being very safe, not giving any opportunity to stream at this point.
And getting this, I mean, you have to look at the levels, right? That 25 on Ursa's hit, 23 and change on the Stank or in Stanking Lina. XG gonna smoke themselves. Aeon Disc is back up for nothing to say.
Lifelike damage Trune as well.
They have another smoke. They do.
Money changes hands.
Creep inside the pit again. Continue to scout it. Falcons is sticking together a little bit more now, so we're seeing actually Ame get a little more net worth, so it did change a little bit here. At least, 1,000 gold. Nothing to write home about, but his butterfly is getting closer and closer. Extra survivability. Still some issues, of course, to reach. Still reaching this Lina. That's my biggest concern for them.
Yeah, Maureen will be very about infinite all the way towards the MKB.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, yeah, FY's got his work cut out. It's like,
it's
you know,
crazy.
actually, they're looking at FY on the line, they're saying, bro, can you somehow find like a 3-man stun onto all 3 cores? Then we might have a chance in the team fight.
Honestly, that is what it feels like. He needs to get a multi-hero stun. He needs to hex the Ursa pre-BKB, right? Like, there's a lot of things he needs to do. Now, I mean, this is actually a nice shard. It's not a nice one to buy, but it's actually a very nice shard for Alina in terms of extra survivability, too. All right, butterfly done. Another smoke.
Let's have a look.
See where they go.
Can they find a fight this time, XG? See, the last few smokes not really result in anything at all. Just haven't been able to catch Falcons by surprise.
And if Crit is literally just in position to break it, he can just blink out, right? That's probably why he did go for it. They're going to counter smoke.
Oh, this could get messy for XG. Both teams know what's up.
Inching forward.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Roche is up.
They're going to try for the jump. Look towards Crit. Getting the epicenter of the Yule. Jump forward on a mark. That's coming to place. The epicenter's already out. FY just caught on the front here. But by some safety here with the Ghost Scepter, they're trying to put us through. That's FY. Oh, mate, he's going to step right up. Looking for Maureen. It's a good Sonic Wave coming in from the side, but Maureen, he's healing up. He's surviving through this effort from Arme. XXS has nothing to say. They jump forward again. They will finally get him. They bring him down, but can they now deal with Skeeter? Skeeter's in with the BKB. Takes out XXS. Him and Mark get the stun connection on top of the arm. Back to the now. Really on Skeeter, but not enough to save Arme. As Arme falls. Nothing to say. Cleaned up as well. I mean, XG, they tried their best to find a way to get the fight started in their favor. They do manage to bring down. They also get, of course, towards the end of Mar, but it's just not enough. You know, you killed 2 of the carries. The third carry's going to clean you up, and it was the case. You know, Skeeter gets the cleanup, heads into Roche. It just feels all too much for XG at this point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is what we were saying, right? It's the 3 carries. It's a 4-protect 1. The other heroes aren't contributing nearly as much. And then Skeeter played this fight beautifully. They had to commit so much to get to Maureen, which I have to commend them that they actually got him. But then Skeeter just has absolute free reign. Gets the back line, kills the Chan, flanks around, cleans up the rest as the true carry.
He's got the MKB queued up next, but I feel like we've got to see this rapier. You know, it's that item that allows you to out-carry the 3 carries, I feel. But at the moment, Arme's still opting to play it safer with the build. The MKB queued up.
That's definitely interesting. He's still a ways away. Sure, you can disassemble and things like that, but we'll see which one he does look to go for. I think it might still be rapier, but we'll see. Sure.
No, he's not going to get that one. FY in position to make sure that X-Nova gets to live another day.
I'm surprised. FY lived so long. The Ghost Scepter.
He really did.
Drain kind of play. He actually did a pretty decent job, but it's too much to go through with how farmed they are, right? These 3 cores, yeah, you got the Hex, they got this control, but it wasn't enough for them to bring down. Because you got the Hex before the stun came out from the stanking on the initial epicenter, but... Arcane Rune. Now you have to get through quite a bit more too, right? Because now it's the Aegis, it's the Cheese, and it's the Refresher Shard. So they killed Maureen before. Now they have to go through that cheese and potential 2 or 3 lives as well. So step harder even for this next fight for XG.
Dire are scanning.
I'll take your
And Snaking he is gonna surpass the Queen of Pain. It is looking like it. Ame is tracked up.
Well, nothing to say, he blinked in aggressively. The Yules and the Blade now to protect himself from Mars still on the back line, but he's found the 2 supports. That's FY gone. Skinner, though, he's gone the once. That's the Aegis out of their hands. See if they can go for round 2. Ame's got to be a bit careful with Marine focus firing him at the moment with the right click from this Lina. See the jump forward again for Skeeter onto Ame. He'll get the BKB up to Sonic. Will push Skeeter back off from Ame. That might be enough to allow Ame to step up here with the flat cannons and start to try and clean up. They'll back off as they'll kite away here, Falcons. Get away from the gyro.
That was such a fast BKB from Ame. That was crazy, actually. Amar was waiting on the side to go for this blink stun play, and he BKBs on the blink burrow. That was actually super heads up. Does end up living because of an extra kill. They get something there. They just live to fight another day.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're building up the gold here, Ame. 3,600 ready to invest how he wishes. All eyes on him really to see where he goes. I mean, this is, as to say, going to be quite the game for Ame to carry, but
yeah,
if he does it, that will be a pretty impressive show. Basically being able to out-carry kind of 3 carries on Team Falcons.
Yep, Skeeter now does have the MKB though, so in that last situation, if he had it, very likely just gets the kill there, but yeah, we'll see how they end up protecting Ame for this next fight.
Will they get the open stun? It should be. Oh, yeah, he's got to be careful. So he's going to have to walk his way back to base, but yeah, that was pretty risky.
Crazy burst damage. The track again. Track bonus damage, 16%. It absolutely adds up. Little moments. Got the dispel, but did have its moment there. Crit did buy back in the last fight. He was going for these safe plays, so it does prolong his Wind Waker build up a little longer.
Oh, now. Do they have any more smokes on XG? Do you think they're going to look for another smoke up? Get out on the map?
Don't see them having one. They used like 2 or 3 back-to-back for the bottom fight. I don't know if they actually have one left. Lane?
Nothing to say. He was trying to push the wave out. Has signals, but he's not going to get it off.
Uh-oh. Aeon Disc was not up yet.
Has it at least
That's
got
a long time. Yeah, but his net worth is already grim enough.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has
Falcons.
fallen.
They're gonna try to force it. Mar, ready to jump.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
What are they going to do to get them off the barracks? Maureen.
Radiant structures are
The
fortified.
force out the fortification. They're really trying to hold off on using the buyback on Nothing to Say.
It's just terrifying because even the Timber can die if he steps past that invisible, like an invisible line that they see.
Radiant's
They mark
top
it.
barracks has fallen.
They're just going to have to let the racks go.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Really don't want to use that buyback. See Falcons.
Dire's
They want to try and
bottom
pressure
tower is under
the mid
attack.
lane as well. He's ready to make the jump. He's going to go immediately in over towards the Chen. Blows up X-Nova. Now they're looking towards... Hey, might find the angle here. Maori gets the burst opening here on towards the Gyro. F1 jumps in to try and hold the back. Skinner, he's in the on top of Arme. Arme's gone.
Bottom tower
He's
is under
dead.
attack.
Back is available from Arme. Who used it immediately here to try and get back in on the action. Nothing to say. He'll finally respawn. The opening stun, but Snaking's in with the Windbreaker to provide some safety here for Skinner. The Sonic Wave connects. There's not enough to literally kill Skinner. Arme tries to move forward to get the homing missile in onto Skinner. Skinner's gone. Jump the hex end of it here for XG. Falcons ready to move back into the base. 4 dead on Extreme Gaming.
Has fallen.
It was just all too much for Arme to carry against at the end of the day.
Radiant's middle
I am not reading, he says. He's playing Sand King. That was a really nice epi to give him credit at least. But yeah, it's just too much for them to deal with though. And like you said, they can kill one, but there's 3 carries, and in this one there's 3 carries too.
Radiant
And
structures are fortified.
I think Maori's going to win the carry competition here. He is top net worth.
Radiant
And getting to do it on the Lina, fun and flashy to see.
The Dire now have mega creep.
There's too much for XG here today. They had a hopeful opening, but nothing to say too far behind to really have the impact that they needed. And it really did, you know, it really very much felt right that they only had FY to set the plays up. It was all on FY to find the setup, and you know, FY, great player, fantastic Lion. Even he couldn't do it this game for the team because it was only him against the world.
It was only him, and it was triple BKBs from Falcons, right?
Yeah.
Early. They went for 3 BKBs pretty early in this game, I would say, especially Malrine is that first item. So it's just, yeah, it's all pressure on Alina, on the Lion. And in some of these games, it's like, Lion doesn't even want to be like the first one to go, or he wants to be the first one to go and then have a follow-up. There's just not a follow-up. There's no extra disables, so it's just all about damage being brought in afterwards. Yeah. And these supports are being bullied, I have to be honest. X-Nova's been epicentered like 4 or 5 times this game.
Well, let's have a look. They're going to play on for the content here. You know, they're going to get the chance to have one final fight here, XG. They'll have Arme back up in 20 seconds. I mean, if somehow they pull this one
defense.
back... That is true. All true. We're going to be calling any early GGs. That's triple turnaround. And I tell you what, Amath, nearly dead. He'll get away. If XG turn this, I mean, this must be like a 0.1%. You know, we're going lower than 1% on this one at this point. If they can turn this game, that's going to be insane. But as you said, we already had some pretty crazy stuff coming out from them on day.
Yeah. I mean, this Falcons, if they buy a rapier and then go to try to get the throne, and then they die and they give the Arme the rapier, then that's potentially like, because that's kind of what happened yesterday.
I think, yeah. I mean, any 3 of them could be tempted to buy a rapier. I think Maurine's probably the most tempted. He's got close to the money for it. But I don't think any rapier purchases will be happening today. Yeah, from Falcons in this game.
Falcons also has the memory of losing to Gyrocopter Rapier. We casted that one, right? That was heroic with the Gyrocopter Omni Knight. It was a while ago now. It's been like 3-4 months, but they had that like crazy comeback 20K deficit, and Falcons was like, oh god. And they were like, we're never doing that again, so let's see. They shouldn't.
And nearly 50k gold lead here for Falcons. They've got the mega creeps, of course. They're taking out one of the tier 4s. And all 3 cores in that top spot on the net worth.
It's a competition, though, like you said.
Who's
going to win? Who's going to be the top net worth?
It really is. I'm telling you, it matters for these players on Falcons. They want the knowledge of being the best on the team here. As I say, at the moment, Maurine's winning at this game.
Snay is going to get his consolation prize, though. He is.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
There we go. He's past the co-op. There we go. That's his goal, usually. 25 also been hit. A very strong talent this game, too. I mean, little things to talk about, but honestly, the Frostbite duration also is strong. Extra disables, extra control, and he's incredibly farmed. Seeing him continue to gather the Lotuses, he has a lot of save potential on his course, too, with the Wind Waker. Plus that heal. Rape just queued up, by the way. He did finally queue up on Ame. He did.
Oh, I thought you meant on one of Falcons.
Oh, jeez. No, my bad, my bad.
I thought Falcons were ready to donate a rapier. But indeed, he's ready. He's going to go pick it up now, right? What did he sell for that? The MKB, right? Yeah,
boots.
On.
Oh, boots. Yeah, sorry.
I guess he sold both, right? Yeah, he's got rid of his boots, got rid of his MKB.
Double damage.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
You have one up.
Can Arme do it? Arme versus 3 carries.
Yep. Maybe there's 3 carries, but a refresher also on the Queen of Pain. So a little bit of extra damage. Also, maybe some pushback and distraction. Rosh.
Doing the Roshan.
Scout.
And XG are in the neighborhood. They're going to get the jump on a crit. Can't quite burst him. And that's for Roshan gone. Ages into the hands of Maurine. Epicenter's out from Amayo. Get the jump over towards the 2 supports. He's caught X-Nova and FY. Drops the Abyssal down towards X-Nova. Outside Arme. He tried to get in, but immediately deleted. They're not in. Oh, someone pick up the rapier. That helps you win the net worth battle. Okay, they're going to focus on getting kills first. aggressive, right?
Skeeter.
He's got. There you go. Pick it up. Get your net worth up. Pick it up.
He's gonna lose.
Pick it up. You know what the
He
race?
lost the Marine.
Oh, he could have beat Marine on the net worth. He picked it up. Oh, what a misplay there from Skeeter. And indeed, he knows it. He's like, I'm going to pick up Radio. Team Falcons, they win. XG, they suffered for quite a lot of this game, folks. This was a bit of a rough one.
Yeah, I mean, very early on, really, you could start to see it start to develop. The Blink Daggers, the BKBs up on Falcons.
Yep.
The first BKB usage from the Lina, of course, underwhelming, but then right afterwards, it was literally just the Falcons show. So,
yeah,
great showing from them.
No, yeah, super nice to see Marin back on the Lina. Popped off throughout it all. 7-3 and 11. He loved it. And yeah, a rough one. Tough one for XG. They just didn't have the worst.
Bigger question is whether Na'Vi can actually disengage from this fight. We'll find out very shortly as we get back into the game. Juice is very low and he needs to find a way to heal himself back up. As soon as he panic, in comes the Ice Blast. The magic damage is huge, but they save Nisha with the card. He goes up to keep them controlled. Niku is trying to do his best to get at the backline. Juice is taking a lot of return damage on the ace. Focus fire down in the second vortex. Niku gets caught and Niku gets killed. Juice is getting a hurricane bike to the high ground. Dropping away from the assets of they still haven't taken down Midday. Finally coming in, but the last Sonic Wave won't be able to do it. A power shot from downtown. Got the Juice look fight him, but another avalanche, another vortex. Nisha just keeps pulling them back in. Now he'll get Hex, now he'll get focused down. And Nisha, finally the monster falls. salvage that fight. I think it's one of those plays where you look at maybe Niku and you ask yourself, did you really need to do that? But the answer is yes. Because look at the Juice's HP. Since the first jump, he was already so low, it's hard for him to come into the fight. But because of that, it allows Nisha to just keep coming in. I think he must have gotten 3 or 4 electrical vortexes that fight alone, really impacting the outcome. It could have been so much worse for Liquid if not. But now you got an Aegis back on Niku to ensure him against that buyback.
Fit
An
for
Arcane Rune to work with
queen.
as well. Na'Vi, they're gonna try and push the issue. 16 seconds left on your SF and 25 on your Storm. How much can they get here? Big difference between the lineups of Liquid and Na'Vi right now is what Liquid lack in raw burst potential, they have in saves. They got themselves a couple of Wind Wakers, they got themselves the Centaur cart, BKBs, Graves, Glimmers. On the flip side, Na'Vi, if they get caught out with their BKBs down, their only way of saving their allies is by killing you. We saw from that earlier fight, it's not so easy. Boxy start to get poked down. Ice Blast will connect. Tiny is toast. Buyback is available for him though.
Radiant's
Liquid hung
courier
on to their
has been
buybacks in that
killed.
previous fight. Unfortunate courier kill. That's the Aeon disc for the poor Dazzle. Not gonna have that one available. We're gonna commit for it anyway because of the buyback. How the tables have turned. 25 minutes ago, we were talking about it being curtains. We were talking about Nisha being the king of the world in this game. Here I am! Try for the hook shot. Attempt there from Zayak.
Radiant's
Not gonna
bottom
fit it, though.
tower is under attack.
Waves clear. That's the annoying part about Storm in late game. Also got an AD rune, forgot the juice.
Radiant's
careful,
middle
though, you don't
tower
have that
is
second
under
life.
attack.
You don't
Radiant
have the save like we
structures are
mentioned.
fortified.
Rosh Banner gonna come through, keeping the creep safe. Someone's gotta go deal with it. They get themselves the Wind Ranger. It looks so easy when you ain't got a Wind Waker. You ain't got any way of bailing Juice out.
Over here now.
Yeah. There wasn't really anything he could do, right? Because before the Centaur and Mickey even jumped in, they both prepped BKB. So they were already BKB'd in that situation. Nothing in the Mars entire kit can save the win at that point because the arena doesn't stop the Requiem. The arena doesn't stop her from getting stunned. Maybe you need to start investing in some of these Wind Wakers.
Stupendous!
Been that inexperience that has plagued Na'Vi Junior back when they were that team, even being upgraded now with the help of Coach CY. It still feels like these. minute items though. Stygian Desolator with Fleet-Footed picked up by Mickey. We need to keep these. These could change the outcome of the game. Very, very important. What kind of items are you looking for of your Na'Vi though? Is that even gonna do anything? Can't they just only by the sword? Minotaur Horn as well, if you get that magic immunity just for a little bit, can help you against those very short BKB cooldowns that you're currently operating with at the moment.
Radiant
Out of the
are
6 seconds on
scanning.
all the cores of Na'Vi. I guess same problem here for Liquid as well. For Sniggies.
Dire are scanning.
Shadow Wave!
For sure. I mean, an Adu rune or a shield rune for any one of these heroes actually might just save them. The Divine Rapier for Niku now. Pure firepower. The Queen of Pain.
Radiant's
He has to
bottom
be
tower
so
is under attack.
bloody careful, man. He could get caught out and killed, and he doesn't have buyback for one more minute. Both these teams understanding that it's all about the initiation.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Nisha more than the rest of them. 18-3. This scoreline on the Storm Spirit, you typically don't lose games when you're in this position. Na'Vi finding a way, hold on, and even punch back into Liquid. Circles being drawn, Liquid on the
Radiant are
prowl,
scanning.
looking to try and find a key target. Niku on the high ground, stops him with the Shivas. Nice Shackle and Ice Blast onto all of them. Nick's in trouble. He's great for now, but he's not gonna survive this one. He's with a huge heal, just buying time on the Nisha. They're focusing down Nicky. He's on the path, but he'll come out and die. The rest of Liquid spend their time dealing with Riddies, who just so easily buys back. They're looking for Boxy now, but he manages to hide away. Only 2 members of Liquid surviving. The way that fight started, far from ideal. They had the high ground vision with the Shivas from Niku, and he tears them up. Yemei's gonna look now. Goes up. Awkward flares are there though, Boxy has to toss his way out of this. And he heads up. Managed to escape that earlier fight, but will not escape now, as the Ice Blast will shoot him down. And that is 4 members of Liquid dead. It's only Nisha alive. And we talked about this, Winter. The only, like how could you even lose from this position as the Storm? But it's so difficult for everyone on Liquid to survive the burst, the control. Niku flying in with the damage and the refreshers. They just all get blown to smithereens.
Oh! Over here now! Touche!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
Here
tower.
come the buybacks. They're going to try and stop Nisha in his tracks. Aeon this proc. That is so annoying for the support
Radiant
players.
structures
But what
are
can you do? You're up
fortified.
against late game Storm. Still, you know victory's right in front of you. Na'Vi, they
Radiant's
have this
bottom
opportunity.
barracks are under
They need to be
attack.
careful. Got the juice. He's died in this situation. But now
Radiant's
he has
bottom
himself an Aeon. This what's going on. Liquid. They pop the BKB on Ace.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Okay. Maybe he was just worried about being jumped. I'm not too sure. They buy back now on the Tiny. Got the juice, needs an out. Easy Glimmer Cave out. Things are getting messy here for Liquid. It feels like they're scrambling a little bit. They just used 2 buybacks for nothing. can just leave the fight or maybe even find a way to feed the cheese over to the Quap so she can keep going. There's a chance here that they can stamp out Liquid. Nisha still brawling away onto Goblin Juice. Beyond this prop, get it up the cheese. Still the avalanche out onto Juice. Somebody needs to get Juice on out of here. Toss over and the Wind Ranger's there, but Niku will be able to finish off Nisha. There's the buyback immediately from the storm. Navi, you need to get the hell out of here. Clockwork with a hook shot out to safety. They're trying to chase on with the ball lightning, but no one to be found. Navi escaped.
Barracks has fallen.
Keep saying the same things over and over again, Winter. I feel like the second the BKBs are down, there's nothing much that Liquid can do. They just get so controlled up.
Dire are scanning.
Here I am! Shot in, Bossy with the counter initiation, though, putting PMA in a rough spot. And then BKB. No wonder you can afford the TP out of this one, though. Has to refresh, use the BKB, and try and TP, but get stopped in his tracks. Not a bit greedy there. PMA is going to die. Bit greedy there. On the Mars, thought that the arena would keep him safe, but they can see right through it. Hop in there and get the kill.
Radiant
I think
are
that's one of the
scanning.
first few mistakes that we see from PMA, especially in this late game. He's been on point so far with his setups, with his hexes, and the spear backs. They've brought Navi to this point. How they dropped in. Worse, they go Liquid. A lifeline presented to them in a game where it looked a little bit bleak. Divine Wave here now onto Nisha. Tired of Niku
Roshan
being the new
has
star of the
fallen
show.
to the Radiant.
Nisha still trying to stand up and prove he's the main character.
Radiant's
Usually talk
middle
about this
tower
Storm
is
Spirit
under
and his
attack.
scaling, but he really is getting overshadowed by the Queen of Pain and the Burst. Like, he already did such a good job finding so much out of that early game, but
Incoming! Fight!
Boom! There it
The only one
goes!
surprised by this is you.
Do it with flair!
I mean, that's fine and dandy and all, and I feel like on the surface, it looks like Nisha should be able to take him down. But prior to him getting this Book of the Dead where he now has vision, the AA has Aeon Disc and Glimmer. Like, you can't burst this guy down. Maybe the tier 5 items will change the complexion of that dynamic.
Dire's
He's showing on the
top
wave here.
tower is under
You
attack.
have to be so careful. Vision granted by the Rockets. The Liquid, they smell something's amiss. They have yet to see a Navi hero in just about 20 to 30 seconds. Bit too suspicious. Navi will relent.
Zip zap!
Compare that to Liquid, who's supposed to actually give them the jump. I feel like Winter, you... Yeah, no, I get it. You just say they just need to go, but go where? Who are they seeing? Because the thing is, they're showing one hero in the lane or they're trying to move, and then Navi's getting all the vision in the world with the Shivas, with the Clockwork, with the AA. You make it sound so... I can't imagine how Liquid are supposed to just go. Who do they go on? The AA is showing. So maybe now they just need to all group up. Here's the goal that you were asking for. Straight onto PMA. The pop is BKB back up. The poke was successful. That's a good start. That's not good.
The only one
Boxy
surprised
having
by
some
this,
issues here.
surprised by this is you.
Boxy crashes on Dazzle out. Bro, the one thing about Nico, if you've met this guy, he is... You can never get this guy down. He's always in a good mood, even in games where he's getting slapped around in. I think that's one of the best parts that he brings to Na'Vi. Keeping the vibes up, very important in these very tense moments. Just don't press it, Omega lol. Tofu, why would you make your teammate crash? Yeah, well, he doesn't need to press grave if you just don't die, bro. Like, what are we... Is this amateur hour? Come on. Alright, so Zayak is up here using his gem to D-Watch. Surely he dies, right? Surely? Surely? Just kidding, hook shot. Peace out.
There it goes. Do it with flair.
Yeah. You don't tell your first rapier about the backup rapier though. That's a... Yeah, no. You don't wanna... No, you don't want to be caught in that position, you know? One man with two rapiers, that's biblical levels of greed. You do that. Did it actually? Wait, I don't know about this. The hammer got jealous? Over here. Oh, man, I wish you would swing me a little bit. What the hell? That sounds ridiculous. Is this like from the Marvel universe, or is this like Norse mythology? Okay. That's true. I mean, Axe literally named himself after his weapon. Okay, I'm not. Look, we're not doing that. Yeah, I hate that shit. Don't piss me off. Well, you know what we should ask? This point, what do you even do? Like, what's the... Because both these teams, they are so damn scared. Is it just a wait for Roche angle, or are you actually trying to make some sort of a play on the map?
Looking for me?
Dire are scanning. Illusion.
You've made it no secret that you want Liquid to just go. However, they're doing the opposite. They're cowering at their base.
Incoming.
Touche!
Radiant are scanning.
place, but still has the BKB blink out. A bit spooky now. You got the buyback available, but Na'Vi and the gang just trying to retreat. They can't die on the sidelines. The clockwork will be killed. Both supports from Na'Vi being taken down. Kind of like that.
Radiant's
Minotaur
middle
press on
tower
Bossy.
is under
He's
attack.
playing it so
Dire
safe.
are
He's like
scanning.
checking for vision, but he's scared he gets instantly jumped on and Berserk. Now why not, right? It's free.
Dire's middle tower is under
Here comes
attack.
Liquid onto the high ground now, trying to force out some
Dire's
sort of a
middle
buyback
tower
or response
has
from
fallen.
Na'Vi. Maybe just go down one lane of Rex. It's crazy to think that 75 minutes in, Liquid have
Dire's middle
not
barracks
been able to
has
penetrate the
fallen.
high ground. They're first now taking their Rex of the game.
Dire's top
All the
tower
damage.
has fallen.
Dark light.
That was not a good try. They completely missed that timing. Comes Nisha, hold on to two. Where's the follow-up? CMA is going to be the one to go in. Buyback comes out. They're still waiting out for Radius with the ice blast. And the shackle on. Nisha in some trouble. Still does pop that BKB on Niku on the back line. Looks like they've held down Tofu, and that will at least be a kill of the support. Niku, he's overcommitted though. Niku will die. There's a buyback with the Divine Rapier on the deck. Somebody go grab it. You don't dare to risk it. Not the juice will recover the rapier. Try for a Tia onto Ace. Any way of stopping it? It doesn't seem like it. Lose Mickey, but Nisha gets out.
And it's off. Rock it on. Players here. Players here.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because I think that Ace actually puts that Shadow Fiend into his cart outside of Navi's vision. So really nice save there from the duo of Tofu and Ace. This is what you wanted to back the SFR. Still doesn't get him out of trouble, but it cost Niku his life. At least he still hangs on to the
Radiant are
Divine Rapier, so he
scanning.
doesn't have to use that backup Divine. I think God the Juice picked it up for him. Left it in base. Unfortunately, that means the Divine Regalia is no longer a factor, so he's crafted the Book of the Dead instead. Yeah.
Zap.
I mean, what do you even do? That's a clock. You were talking about it
it
in
with
the draft,
flair.
which is almost 80 minutes ago at this point. But yeah, these two supports really hate being caught by Zoo. Zayek, Aeon is gonna prop, all start. Mickey's in with the damage, and Zayek, he'll die. That's a dieback onto the clockwork. Navi looking to be in trouble now. The BKB's pot trying to stand their ground. Niku is not buying back. He wants to hang on. It's 9 more seconds.
Dark light.
Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's worth the buyback, but they don't want to test backdoor regen. 100 seconds without Zayek and the vision advantage that he gives you. It took Liquid a while, but it seems like at least for now, they are somewhat back on track. These initiations that they've been finding, Liquid, they've been able to pressure Na'Vi with these 5 items with the late game, and like you mentioned, Roche is up. Could be a second life for Nisha, could be a second life for Mickey. They both have buybacks, depends on who you want it on.
Shadow wave. Dark light.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Immortality is mine.
Need to watch out for these Book of the Dead rat plays for sure. But Nisha, 39 galvanized stacks. He was the god of this game, then he got shown up by Niku a little bit.
Dazzle.
But in the chaos of these fights, proven to be so hard to take him down. Here comes the
Dire's
thunder.
top barracks has
Nisha
fallen.
will be the one on the front lines. Mickey not wanting to risk himself.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Seems to be the right decision. Book of the Dead pushing in the final lane of Rax for Na'Vi. But watch yourself, Niku. It's save buyback for this very reason. Thought the Helm Dawn meta was bad. Now you got Pokemon battles with some of these Book of the Dead units. My goodness. Whew. You gotta be so careful from those from the death damage from those units as well. Slaps you down a little bit.
Radiant's middle tower
It's
is under
Na'Vi in the
attack.
base. What are the options here for Na'Vi? Do you even step out, or do you just kind of wait until Liquid make a mistake?
Dire's bottom tower is
Illusion.
under
Scared.
attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I mean, I don't even know if that makes a difference. Dude, the reason why I'm so quiet is I'm looking at this game and I'm trying to figure out how exactly Liquid need to break this, because even after now they have all their buybacks,
Radiant
they have the
are
ages,
scanning.
but if you run up to the high ground, you run the risk of Na'Vi just kind of gifting
Dire
them this
are scanning.
free fight where PMA can set up all he wants, right? It's so much more linear. He's gonna jump in, but that Roche banner immediately dealt with. Here comes Nisha trying to poke out a response. Aeon this proc, that's nice. Last lane of Rax here, Na'Vi hanging on for dear life. Even the Megas, they are trying to. Second Roshan banner coming through. Don't have an Aeon Disc to save you anymore.
Dire's
Someone's got to
bottom
auto attack it.
barracks
Or
are
you just
under
over here to lose it here. He's gonna step on forward. Run of the initiation. Just blow up Nisha in an instant. I don't even know where that storm went. That's the setup. That's the spear. Nisha in trouble, but the car. Ace gets him out. The arena can't stop that. Nico's gonna blink in with the BKB and the Sonic Wave refresh up. And look at Nisha on the backline. Both ways. Keating. Full glory. The Wind Ranger's gonna go down, and the Requiem will finish off Riddies. Buyback coming through. Niku still trying to hunt down Tofu, who's kiting around with this vision. Niku in trouble. Niku blinking away. Mickey, still the wall that they can't get through at the moment. He's found the ace, but he's able to Wind Waker out to the safety of his team. Getting the count now, they're still jumping forward. Guild Force keeping them in place. Second Requiem coming through. Mickey and Ace are going to drop, and now they turn their sight towards Boxy. Buybacks coming out from Liquid though, as Niku desperately trying to escape, will be able to hide and flee. But Zayak won't be quite as lucky. Liquid looking to overwhelm Na'Vi with the numbers, and both supports have no buyback. Coming through with the second salvo, Sonic Wave, it's huge! Niku, can he salvage the fight? It doesn't seem like it. Nisha's gonna gun him down. He's bought back though. Nisha on a sliver. They get themselves the storm. Somehow, someway, Na'Vi, despite losing mega creeps, they still hold. He's the only one in the game with a buyback. I just want to save that for a rainy day, yeah. I mean, what even happened in that fight? Like, what the hell is even happening in these fights? How they got the Juice and Niku both do over 20k damage, and it still doesn't feel like Na'Vi won that fight convincingly. They had the buyback on 4 heroes. They died on all 5. Just buyback from Nisha. Looking for the side. Niku on the front line. Niku's caught. Niku's killed. That might just be it. Touché. We weren't paying attention, and in an instant, these heroes disappear. Shadow Wave. It's a bit of a longer show than we expected, Nisha. But it's time to shine. The spotlight was all on him. They got taken away for a moment, but he still keeps finds himself in the driver's seat. It's a wrap.
Dire's
Nisha
middle
show
tower
is
under
complete.
attack.
What a game from this player from start to finish, and you can see the relief on their faces. They can't be too happy about that. Still smiles all